Chapter 2694. As the 5 ancient gods of the star ancient realm spoke, their gazes fell on the peak of the mountain that pierced the clouds. There, an extremely dense heavenly energy wrapped around a round ball. Upon closer inspection, it was even more eye-catching. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Strong winds blew, and snowflakes danced in the air. The entire mountain was covered in a layer of silver. An oppressive aura spread out, and many ancient gods gathered there. Fang Chen concealed his aura and was very careful as he blended in with the crowd and climbed to the peak. Buzz! A vast aura surged toward him. When the ancient gods arrived at the peak, they suddenly saw 5 tall figures standing with their hands behind their backs. Star Ancient Realm? Everyone exclaimed, and shock appeared on their faces. Fang Chen noticed the eyeball in silver at the center of the mountain peak. Heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye. Fang Chen's heart raced, and a strange aura emanated from his eyes. Calm down. Although his heart was burning, he forcibly suppressed his crazy thoughts. There were 5 ancient gods in front of him. If his identity was exposed, he would definitely die. The heavenly Tao treasure has nothing to do with you. Retreat, said one of the ancient gods of the star ancient realm. Hearing this, many ancient gods were unwilling. Ancient god Walking Dragon, the heavenly Tao treasure has appeared. Then, the fated one will obtain it. A void ancient god stepped forward and said in a low voice. Bang! The expert called Ancient God Walking Dragon waved his sleeve, and a powerful force instantly enveloped the ancient god. Crack! The void ancient god was suppressed in a matter of minutes. Immediately, many ancient gods retreated. Their eyes were filled with fear. Retreat. They had no choice but to leave in order to survive. In the blink of an eye, many ancient gods retreated to the foot of the mountain. They did not leave, but hoped that the 5 ancient gods would fail. Rip! Fang Chen quietly slipped into the void. With the space-time evasion technique, he didn't need to worry about being discovered by star ancient realm cultivators. Hiding in the dark, Fang Chen carefully observed the heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye. The heavenly Tao aura is very dense, and there is a heart-palpitating power growing. Fang Chen muttered, it shouldn't be a pseudo-ancestral eye. Previously, Heavenly Venerate Thunderbeast had obtained the pseudo-ancestral eye, and its power was also very domineering. What are they waiting for? Fang Chen was very puzzled. The 5 ancient star realm experts were unwilling to make a move. Their eyes flickered as if they were waiting for something. Master! The heart of the profound underworld could see how extraordinary the heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye was. The heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye has fallen into a deep slumber. There are powerful restrictions around it. Once the restrictions shatter, it will definitely alarm the heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye. The reason why the 5 experts are not attacking is because they are secretly corroding the restrictive spell, Xianming's heart said. Hearing this, Fang Chen was slightly moved. If he waited for the 5-star ancient realm experts to corrode the restrictions, the heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye would definitely fall into their hands. I have to think of something. Just as Fang Chen was feeling anxious, the mysterious underworld heart spoke again. Actually, with Master's strength, he can definitely obtain the heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye before them. Oh! Fang Chen was a little surprised and hurriedly asked. The restrictions around the heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye are very strong. They are subconsciously released by the heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye to protect itself. This power is also known as the power of the Ancestral Eye. As long as you use the same power to touch it, it won't cause panic, Xianming's heart said. You mean, you want me to use the power of the Thunderbolt Ancestral Eye and the Evil Ancestral Eye to assimilate the restrictions, and then seize the heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye in one fell swoop? Fang Chen asked. That's right. Xianming's heart said, Master, if you are caught off guard, you can immediately escape after obtaining the heavenly Tao Ancestral Eye. With the space-time escape technique, these 5 ancient star realm experts won't be able to catch up to you. After listening to the heart of the profound underworld's words, Fang Chen was ready to make a move. However, he was not in a hurry to make a move. Instead, he was racking his brains. He tried his best to think of every possible problem that could arise. Otherwise, if it really happened, he would be too helpless. After about 15 minutes of thinking, Fang Chen decided to make a move. At this time, the falling snow in the sky became even heavier. The 5 ancient star realm experts stood motionless. Their bodies were already covered in snowflakes. When Fang Chen used the power of the 2 ancestral eyes, he suddenly discovered that the 5 ancient star realm experts were emitting a faint aura at the same time, secretly corroding the restrictions. Deng deng deng. Fang Chen used the space-time escape technique to perfectly conceal himself, using the power of the ancestral eyes to disguise himself. Soon, Fang Chen arrived in front of the restrictions. He turned his head and saw that the 5 ancient star realm experts had their eyes closed, wholeheartedly corroding the restrictions. Fang Chen was secretly delighted. Then, shrouded in the power of the 2 ancestral eyes, he took a step forward and came into contact with the restrictions. Buzz. Suddenly, a ripple appeared on the restrictions that were as stable as Mount Tai. The 5 ancient star realm experts abruptly opened their eyes, their faces filled with joy. The restrictions are fluctuating. This means that our method is correct. Don't stop. Continue to increase the corrosion. In an instant, the 5 ancient star realm experts continued to increase the corrosion. Rip. Under the power of the ancestral eyes, Fang Chen easily entered the restrictions. The heavenly Tao ancestral eye was right in front of him. Fang Chen sized up the 5 ancient star realm experts seriously, then took a deep breath. Whoosh. He reached out and grabbed the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. Then, without giving the heavenly Tao ancestral eye any chance, he directly sucked it into his eyes. Crack. Without the support of the heavenly Tao ancestral eye, the restrictions shattered. What's going on? The 5 ancient star realm experts were at a loss. Why did the heavenly Tao ancestral eye disappear into thin air? What's going on? The 5 of them quickly approached the broken restrictions. Suddenly, a black figure disappeared into thin air. At this time, the 5 ancient star realm experts finally realized that someone had stolen the heavenly Tao ancestral eye right under their noses. Damn it. Who is it? No matter who you are, you're dead. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 5 ancient star realm experts erupted with boundless energy as they pursued. Ancient God Xingfeng, you pursue him. The expert called Ancient God Xingfeng exuded a powerful energy as he slightly frowned. His escape technique is extremely strange. It's a little similar to the space-time escape technique. Ancient God Xingfeng said, I can only faintly sense the direction in which he fled, but I can't find his true location. After him. With Ancient God Xingfeng's help, the 5 experts pursued Fang Chen with all their strength. Using the space-time escape technique, Fang Chen moved with incredible speed, and in the blink of an eye, he had left the 5 behind him. Bzzzzz. In his eyes, a terrifying power of the way of the heavens emanated. Fang Chen sensed that the lightning ancestral eye and the evil ancestral eye were fiercely rejecting each other. How could this be? His body swayed from the backlash, his face pale. A few moments later, the 5 ancient star realm experts had caught up. You can't escape. Ancient God Xingfeng loudly rebuked. Upon seeing this, Fang Chen endured the pain in his eyes and continued to use the space-time escape technique to flee. It's no good. The heavenly Tao ancestral eye is too tyrannical. It wants to devour the other 2 ancestral eyes. Fang Chen inwardly cursed. At this critical moment, if the 3 ancestral eyes began to fight amongst themselves, they would affect his body. There were still 5 ancient star realm experts pursuing him, so he could not allow any problems to occur. Suddenly, Fang Chen noticed that there was a shining mountain in front of him. Up. Fang Chen sensed that this mountain was like a maze. Even ancient star realm experts would get lost if they entered. Rip. In the blink of an eye, Fang Chen charged into the shining mountain. Broom. Behind him, the 5 ancient star realm cultivators came to a stop after chasing him. Damn it. Ancient God Xingfeng couldn't help but curse, a grave look on his face as he looked at the mountain in front of him. He actually charged into Titan Bai Ling's palace? The other 4 ancient gods were also taken aback. The 3 titans of the god-slaying island were publicly acknowledged as supreme experts in the celestial exalt sea. The Blackpool camp did not dare to lightly offend them, and this shining mountain was the palace of one of the three titans, Titan Bai Ling. Normally, no one dared to get within 100 li of this mountain. To recklessly charge into Titan Bai Ling's palace, that scoundrel is doomed to die. Even so, we can't just give up. Ancient God Xingfeng said, we'll wait 100 li away. If he appears, we'll kill him and take the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. Okay, it's decided. The 5 ancient star realm experts sat cross-legged 100 li away. Chapter 2695. This news quickly spread throughout the Black Swamp camp. Many higher-ups were discussing who could snatch the heavenly Tao ancestral eye under the noses of the 5-star ancient realm experts. In the end, the unanimous conclusion was that this person should be from the ancient sage camp. Everyone's gaze fell on the glittering mountain peak. After rushing into the mountain peak, Fang Chen found that the pressure suddenly increased, and it was as if he had entered a maze. What is this place? Fang Chen was very curious. How could there be such a strange place in the heavenly Venerate Sea? Bang! Suddenly, Fang Chen felt that his eyeballs were about to burst out of his body. Drops of blood flowed out from his eye sockets. Damn it! Fang Chen cursed and immediately used all his strength to suppress the abnormal eyeballs. However, no matter how he suppressed them, it was useless. The heavenly Tao ancestral eye was too strong. It wanted to devour the 2 ancestral eyes and control Fang Chen. Suppress. Fang Chen's face was ferocious as he fell into madness. He could not let the heavenly Tao ancestral eye succeed. Otherwise, he would become a puppet and his body would not be controlled by him. Thump, 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 thump. The eyeballs twitched faster and faster until Fang Chen fainted. At this moment, a white-robed woman walked out of the haze. If Fang Chen was awake, he would definitely be surprised that this woman was one of the 3 giants of the god-slaying island, the white-robed woman. The 3 ancestral eyes have gathered. The white-robed woman murmured. A complicated expression appeared on her pretty face. Then, with a wave of her sleeve, a powerful ray of light drilled into Fang Chen's eyeballs. Thump! There was a vibration, and in the next moment, Fang Chen's eyeballs completely calmed down. The power of the 3 ancestral eyes intertwined in his eyes. Seeing this, the white-robed woman nodded slightly. After an unknown period of time, Fang Chen's fingers shook. Then, he regained consciousness and suddenly opened his eyes. Where am I? Fang Chen leaped to his feet and looked around. Hey! He was shocked to find that his eyes had undergone a huge change. What happened? He was actually unable to sense the existence of the 3 supreme ancestral eyes. He could only feel an aura that surpassed the ancestral eyes flowing in his eye sockets. Could it be that the 3 ancestral eyes have merged? Fang Chen widened his eyes in surprise. The 3 supreme ancestral eyes have merged into one, forming the true supreme ancestral eye, the white-robed woman said as she slowly walked forward. Hey! After seeing the white-clothed woman, Fang Chen was even more surprised. Senior, what is this place? Why are you here? Fang Chen asked hurriedly. This is my palace in the Empyrean Sea. When I found you, you were already unconscious. The white-clothed woman said, you were in a very dangerous situation at that time. The heavenly Tao ancestral eye was waiting for an opportunity to control you. Hearing this, Fang Chen was slightly moved. Senior, thank you for your help. Fang Chen cupped his fists in gratitude. The white-clothed woman shook her head and turned around, her back facing Fang Chen. Her eyes were a little lost. After a long while, the white-clothed woman murmured, I just didn't want to see the evil ancestral eye that my disciple had worked so hard to obtain disappear. If the heavenly Tao ancestral eye was allowed to continue devouring, the evil ancestral eye and the lightning ancestral eye would definitely disappear completely. Now that the 3 ancestral eyes had merged, the power of the evil ancestral eye still existed. Moreover, the 3 ancestral eyes had truly evolved into the supreme ancestral eye after merging. Do you feel that you can easily control the power of the heavenly Tao, and even have a deeper understanding of the heavenly Tao? The white-clothed woman asked. Fang Chen nodded in a daze. The 3 ancestral eyes have evolved into the supreme ancestral eye after merging. The white-clothed woman said, however, your supreme ancestral eye is only at the initial stage. It will be very difficult to evolve it to the final stage. Supreme Ancestral Eye? Fang Chen was confused. Were the 3 ancestral eyes not the Supreme Ancestral Eye? As if seeing Fang Chen's confusion, the white-clothed woman explained, "The Supreme Ancestral Eye that I speak of is different from what you understand. The 3 ancestral eyes do belong to the Supreme Ancestral Eye category, but they are not. The ancestral eye that you possess now is called the Supreme Ancestral Eye. When it evolves to the extreme, it can see through the operation of the supreme laws," the white-clothed woman said. Fang Chen's head spun as he came to a sudden realization. In fact, it was very simple to understand. The evil ancestral eye, the lightning ancestral eye, and the heavenly Tao ancestral eye all belonged to the Supreme Ancestral Eye category. The Supreme Ancestral Eye mentioned here was a kind of scope, and not a single noun. The Supreme Ancestral Eye that the white-clothed woman spoke of was a noun. In this world, there was the strongest ancestral eye known as the Supreme Ancestral Eye. When this ancestral eye evolved to the extreme, it could see through the operation of all the laws in the world. See through the operation of the supreme laws? Fang Chen was shocked. The supreme laws were established by the peak experts of the primordial chaos. Many martial artists living in the primordial chaos realm could not see through it at all. With your strength, it's almost impossible for you to evolve the Supreme Ancestral Eye, the white-clothed woman said. You will understand when you reach the primordial chaos. However, you can also use a part of the Supreme Ancestral Eye's power now. For example, the heavenly flame. Under the white-clothed woman's guidance, Fang Chen successfully controlled the Supreme Ancestral Eye and released the so-called heavenly flame. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Flames that were completely formed by the power of the heavenly Tao shot out from his eyes. This kind of flame was called the heavenly flame. With Fang Chen's current strength, almost no one below the Star Ancient Realm could resist the power of the heavenly flame. So strong. After releasing the heavenly flame, Fang Chen personally experienced the power of the heavenly flame. Once hit by the heavenly flame, the primordial spirit will be instantly turned into ashes. Fang Chen was shocked. Wasn't the heavenly flame too domineering? Thinking of this, Fang Chen couldn't wait to see how powerful the Supreme Ancestral Eye would be when it evolved to the ultimate level. There's still some time before we leave. Why don't you find some people to be your sparring partners? The white-clothed woman said with a smile. Sparring partners? Fang Chen's eyes turned. Whoosh. The white-clothed woman waved her slender hand, and the hazy fog dispersed, and a smooth mirror appeared in the void. The mirror distorted, and then countless alien races appeared, sitting cross-legged and resting with their eyes closed. These ancient gods are from the dark marsh primordial chaos. They are 100 miles away, waiting for you to appear, the white-clothed woman said. You can use them as sparring partners. Star Ancient Realm? A black line appeared on Fang Chen's forehead. These alien races were all in the Star Ancient Realm. No matter how powerful the heavenly flame was, he wasn't confident that he could deal with so many ancient gods. Don't worry, no one is allowed to step within 100 miles of my palace. After the white-clothed woman finished speaking, she smiled faintly and turned to leave. Dong. At the same time, a majestic voice suddenly sounded. Those below the Star Ancient Realm can enter 100 miles of my palace at will. Fang Chen was stunned when he heard that. But soon, an excited smile appeared on his face. In that case, I won't stand on ceremony. With that thought, Fang Chen leaped up and left the mountain, appearing in front of the alien races. It's him. Fang Chen? Why is it him? He got the heavenly Tao ancestral eye? For a moment, many Star Ancient Realm experts were furious when they saw Fang Chen walking over. Damn it. Void Ancient Realm cultivators can enter and send a large number of Void Ancient Realm cultivators to kill this kid. Fang Chen's appearance caused a stir in the Dark Marsh camp. All the Star Ancient Realm experts gathered. They didn't dare to step into the palace, so they could only watch from 100 miles away. On the other hand, the Void Ancient Realm cultivators from the Black Lock camp swarmed into the palace. Kid, you're dead. The Dark Marsh camp originally wanted to kill Fang Chen, but who would have thought that this guy would steal the heavenly Tao ancestral eye? This was intolerable, So the Dark Marsh camp made up their minds to kill Fang Chen. Humph, you may have the protection of the three overlords, but you're dead. Many of the Star Ancient Realm senior executives believed that the voice transmission just now was the three magnates' attempt to protect Fang Chen. So what if you're invincible in the Void Ancient Realm? The Dark Marsh camp can still kill you with numbers. The first batch of Void Ancient Realm experts had finally arrived. Die! 10 peak Void Ancient Realm experts attacked at lightning speed, not giving Fang Chen any chance to escape. Let's test the power of the Heavenly Flame. Chapter 2696. Boom! Vast and powerful heavenly flames shot out from his eyes. Rip! The Void Ancient Realm at the front was instantly engulfed by heavenly flames. Whoosh! His body was annihilated. When the other ancient gods saw this, they were stunned. At this moment, the powerful heavenly flames engulfed them. Screams of agony were heard. Seeing this, the faces of the Star Ancient Realm upper echelons changed drastically. What's going on? What are those flames from his eyes? Why are they so powerful? Damn it, he must have merged with the heavenly Tao ancestral eye. The upper echelons of the Blackpool primal chaos were enraged, and their hearts were filled with killing intent. I don't believe that the human wave tactic can't do anything to him. His flames are strong, but they consume a lot of energy. He can't use them more than a few times. Under the orders of the Star Ancient Realm higher-ups, countless Void Ancient Realm outsiders charged into the palace and fought with Fang Chen. Powerful indeed. One look was enough to kill 10 ancient gods. Fang Chen knew how powerful the heavenly flames were. After obtaining the heavenly flames, Fang Chen was truly invincible in the Void Ancient Realm. At this moment, the three giants looked down from the sky. In the immemorial chaos, this guy is invincible in the Void Ancient Realm, right? Wu Yu smiled. The Supreme Ancestral Eye is only in its initial state, and the heavenly flames are already so powerful. It will continue to grow in the future, Wu Gan said. I wonder what his upper limit is. Only Bai Ling had a faint smile on her face. She seemed to see her former disciple in Fang Chen. Young, confident, and energetic. Ling you can't go against the heavenly Tao. Your disciple's death is special. If you forcefully revive him, you will destroy the heavenly Tao and suffer a backlash. Wu Yu looked at Bai Ling. I hope you can accept it. I know, Bai Ling said. On the wasteland, Fang Chen released heavenly flames, turning the entire wasteland into a sea of fire. Any alien race member that dashed into the sea of fire was instantly annihilated in body and soul. The sea of fire turned into hell. Countless outsiders were shocked. Too strong. My heart is trembling. Void Ancient Realm cultivators can't withstand such a powerful flame attack. Even Star Ancient Realm cultivators would be in danger if they entered the sea of fire, right? After the initial blind rage, the Void Ancient Realm outsiders finally stopped. Their hearts were trembling. Going in was simply courting death. Great. As time passed, Fang Chen's control over the heavenly flame became even easier. Who in the Void Ancient Realm can block my heavenly flame? An invincible confidence burst out from Fang Chen's body. 100 miles away, the Star Ancient Realm experts finally came to a decision. Let's go all out. We can't let him continue to grow. Otherwise, our Black Marsh Primal Chaos will become Ancient Saint Primal Chaos prisoners. This was a situation that no one wanted to see. However, there was nothing he could do. What can we do? Are we Star Ancient Realm cultivators supposed to charge in? The three magnates are definitely watching us from the shadows. Once we rush in, we'll be killed before we can even attack Fang Chen. The might of the three magnates was undeniable. Even the Star Ancient Realm experts of the Black Marsh Primal Chaos didn't dare to resist. Then what do we do? Release the Dao Zi beast. What? The other Star Ancient Realm experts turned pale with fright when they heard this. No, absolutely not. The Dao Zi beast is too destructive. Once it regains its freedom, the Black Marsh Primal Chaos will be finished. That's right. I agree with ancient god Xingfeng. We can't release the Dao Zi beast no matter what. Many Star Ancient Realm experts were against it. The blue-robed ancient god shrugged. Then what can we do? Wait for Fang Chen to grow and destroy the Black Marsh primal chaos? Release the Daozi beast and we'll have a chance. Right now, Fang Chen is invincible in the Void Ancient Realm. If he hides in the palace and doesn't come out, what else can we do? The upper echelons lowered their heads and fell silent. They knew better than anyone what the Daozi beast meant. Back then, they had exhausted all their means and suffered heavy casualties before they were able to seal the Daozi beast. But now, if they released it, wouldn't all their efforts go to waste? For a moment, everyone was in a dilemma. Seeing this, the blue-robed ancient god continued, with Fang Chen's current strength, only the Daozi beast has a chance of killing him. Moreover, even if the Daozi beast loses control in the end, we can do our best to keep it in the heavenly sovereign sea and prevent it from entering the Black Marsh primal chaos. The sea of fire soared into the sky and surged. Fang Chen stood in the sea of fire and stared ahead. Give up. Fang Chen said, no wonder. With the sky flame, he's invincible under the Void Ancient Realm. No matter how many Void Ancient Realm outsiders they have, they're just sending themselves to their deaths. Fang Chen was confident that he could use the sky flame to kill all the Void Ancient Realm experts in the Black Marsh primal chaos. The premise was that they had to enter the sea of fire. It seemed that the Black Marsh primal chaos had compromised. Let's go. Fang Chen didn't waste any more time and returned to the mountain. Several days later, a furious roar that tore through the sky rang out, instantly alarming Fang Chen. What's going on? Fang Chen jumped to his feet and suddenly realized that a ferocious demonic beast had appeared in the wasteland. What kind of beast is this? This demonic beast had 4 eyes on its head. Its body was huge, like a moving hill. Master, this is the Daozi beast. What? The Daozi beast is one of the more ferocious beasts in the Chaos Realm. After reaching adulthood, it's recognized as invincible in the Void Ancient Realm. The Xianming Heart explained, this Daozi beast has reached adulthood, but it's not fully grown yet. Invincible in the Void Ancient Realm? Fang Chen felt a shocking power from the Daozi beast. Puny human, get down here and die. The Daozi beast knew that this palace couldn't be humiliated, so it didn't dare to climb the mountain. Instead, it told Fang Chen to get down. Its 4 gong-sized eyes emitted a terrifying light as it stared at the mountain. Whoosh! Fang Chen appeared in the wilderness. Humph, I thought the Black Marsh primal chaos had invited some help, but it's just an ugly monster. Human, are you trying to provoke me? The Daozi beast said in a deep voice. You should feel honored. You're the first human I've devoured after regaining my freedom. With that, the Daozi beast's huge body charged toward Fang Chen. Sky flame. Fang Chen's eyes flickered and shot out a sky flame. Get lost. The Daozi beast snorted and swung its claws at the sky flame. Hiss. When the heavenly flame collided with its claws, it was instantly burned. Damn it. The Daozi beast's power shook and barely extinguished the sky flame. However, its claws were bloody and heavily injured. Human, you've successfully injured me. The Daozi beast was furious and launched a frenzied attack. 100 miles away. The higher-ups of the Star Ancient Realm heaved a sigh of relief. That idiot Fang Chen thinks his flame is invincible and can burn the Daozi beast. He doesn't know that the Daozi beast's physical defense is something even Star Ancient gods can't do. The Daozi beast is completely enraged. He's dead for sure. The Daozi beast's cultivation was only at the Void Ancient Realm, but its combat power was comparable to a Star Ancient Realm expert. Once it entered battle mode, even a Star Ancient Realm ancient god couldn't fight against it. Back then, it had killed so many people that the Black Marsh primal chaos trembled. Now, it was burned by a weak Void Ancient Realm guy. The Daozi beast roared in anger. Desolate swamp chaos. The Daozi beast roared and charged at Fang Chen with its huge body. Rip. Fang Chen naturally wouldn't be stupid enough to fight the Daozi beast head-on. Instead, he used the space-time escape technique to dodge. The Daozi beast was strong, but not agile enough. I'll burn you. Every time Fang Chen released a sky flame, he would change his position. In the blink of an eye, the Daozi beast was covered in sky flame. Roar. The Daozi beast roared in anger. Blood spurted out of its body like a tide and forcefully extinguished the sky flame. However, the heavenly flames had also left terrifying scars on its body. I'm going to tear you to pieces. The Daozi beast roared. Fang Chen sneered. I don't believe that you can keep resisting my sky flame. Chapter 2697. Although the Daozi beast was strong, it could not withstand the endless heavenly flames. Plus, it could not catch Fang Chen's trace at all. From the beginning of the battle, Fang Chen was in an invincible position. How could it fight? The Daozi beast could only take the beating. Although the Daozi beast roared at the sky in anger, it could not do anything. Its size affected its speed. Roar. After being burned black and blue by Fang Chen's heavenly flames, the Daozi beast roared and rushed out of the sea of fire, retreating in front of the upper echelons of the Blackpool chaos. Damned human, one day, I will tear you into pieces. As soon as the Daozi beast finished speaking, it disappeared into the void. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The raging flames burned the plains as Fang Chen stood in the air. At this moment, he was like a demon god descending, causing the entire Blackpool chaos to tremble. Damn it. Helpless, the many-star ancient realm experts in the Blackpool chaos could only give up. Fang Chen put away the heavenly flames and leaped back to the palace on the mountain peak. Whoosh. The three magnates appeared at the same time and looked at Fang Chen with smiles. Not bad, it hasn't been long since we last met, and your strength has increased to such a level. Wu Yu smiled. I can already see the scene of you shining in the immemorial chaos, Wu Qian said. Bai Ling nodded slightly, satisfied with Fang Chen's improvement. You have completely mastered the heavenly flames, but remember, the heavenly flames are only one of the techniques of the Supreme Ancestor I. Bai Ling said, comprehend it well and try to comprehend more techniques. This way, you can survive in the immemorial chaos. I know. Fang Chen nodded. In the following time, Fang Chen followed the three giants and returned to the God-slaying island. His cultivation had reached a bottleneck, and it was difficult for him to break through. Meanwhile, he focused on comprehending the Supreme Ancestor I and waited for the 30-year promise to come. Not long after, a piece of news spread and shook the entire heavenly Venerate Sea. After the Daozi beast recovered from its injuries, it crazily slaughtered many prodigies of the Blackpool camp. In the end, many star ancient realm cultivators of the Blacklock camp joined forces to use a secret technique to force the Daozi beast to retreat. After this battle, the Black Swamp camp suffered heavy losses, and they did not have the strength to contend with ancient Saint Hun Dun for a short period of time. Moreover, they still had to face the potential threat of the Daozi beast. Daozi beast. A trace of worry flashed across Fang Chen's eyes. Senior, I wonder if the Daozi beast will charge out of the Empyrean Sea? Fang Chen asked. Bai Ling stood with her hands behind her back, facing Fang Chen. Under the white robe, a beautiful figure stood there quietly. She looked up at the skies and faintly smiled. The Daozi beast is very strong, but it is still restricted by its cultivation. If it wants to rush out of the Empyrean Sea, it will be extremely difficult. You don't have to worry. The Black Swamp will think of a way to deal with it. Hearing Bai Ling's words, Fang Chen's anxious heart relaxed. The ancient sacred primal chaos was his hometown. He didn't want to see a ruined hometown the next time he returned. Senior, can you tell me about the situation in the primordial chaos? Fang Chen was very curious about the primordial chaos. The core of the vast primal chaos realm was also the most prosperous place. Martial arts prospered there, and the ancient sacred primal chaos and the Black Swamp chaos could not compare to it. There, Xian gods could easily enter the ancient god realm. The power of the heavenly Tao was vast and boundless, and the supreme laws operated perfectly. It could be said that the primordial chaos was the center of the primal chaos realm. Although they were both in the primal chaos void, the ancient sacred primal chaos and the primordial chaos were worlds apart. There was simply no comparison. Is there a higher realm above the ancient god realm? Fang Chen asked. The ancient god realm was already an expert standing at the peak of the ancient sacred primal chaos. When they stomped their feet, the entire primal chaos void would tremble. However, There were many ancient gods in the Empyrean Sea. This made Fang Chen even more curious about what kind of place the primordial chaos was. Was there a higher realm above the ancient god realm? Bai Ling nodded gently. Naturally, there is a higher realm above the ancient god realm. The ancient god realm was divided into 3 realms: the ancient space realm, the ancient star realm, and the ancient life realm. After reaching the ancient life realm, one could change the fate of others. This was a mysterious realm. However, you should think about how to improve your realm and reach the ancient life realm as soon as possible. The path of martial arts is as difficult as ascending to the heavens. The most taboo is biting off more than one can chew, Bai Ling said slowly. Fang Chen nodded and no longer asked about this. Instead, he changed the topic. By the way, Senior Bai, I still don't know which faction the 3 of you are from. The 3 giants had been in the Empyrean Sea for countless years, and they had been carrying out their mission. They had to constantly unearth the most promising geniuses to send talents to the primordial chaos. We are the emissaries of Tianshu Yuan. Bai Ling did not hide this. Fang Chen would know this when he went to the primordial chaos. There are many factions in the primordial chaos, and our Tianshu Yuan can be considered an overlord. In the depths of the primordial chaos, it was pitch black. From time to time, spatial storms would appear, and even black holes would flash. The environment was very harsh. Even an ancient god realm powerhouse could not resist the powerful corrosive power in the darkness with their physical bodies. Rip! Suddenly, a ray of light appeared in the darkness. As if being torn apart, the light became more and more dazzling. In the end, it became infinitely larger and turned into a warship. The warship was surrounded by a biting cold aura. If Fang Chen were here, he would be extremely shocked. The aura surrounding the warship was enough to turn a star ancient realm powerhouse into ashes. Even an ancient life realm powerhouse would find it difficult to resist. The entire warship was like nature itself. It was a powerful supreme treasure, similar to Immortal Cave Mountain. The warship moved forward at high speed. It was so fast that it was shocking. On the deck of the warship, there was a black-clothed man. Between his brows, there was a gloomy expression. On his handsome face, there was a faint smile that did not seem like a smile. The aura that was emitted from his body was extremely frightening. "Young master, why do you have to do this?" An old servant beside the black-clothed man asked, puzzled. "What kind of genius can there be in this barren land? I reckon that the 3 envoys from Tianshu Courtyard were exaggerating in order to gain merit." The old servant shared his opinion. The black-clothed man was very cold to the other servants on the warship, but he respected the old servant very much. "Uncle Hong, you've been with me for so many years. Don't you know my character?" The black-clothed man chuckled and fanned himself. "I know Bai Ling better than anyone. She won't lie. Young master, are you saying that the news sent by the 3 emissaries from Tianshu Yuan is true?" The old servant still did not believe it. After all, the news was too shocking. Tianshu Yuan was extremely secretive. If they did not have spies in Tianshu Yuan, they would not have known. Becoming an ancient god in 17,000 years. Such monstrous talent is even stronger than Jiyu Tianhua of the Jiyu family, the black-clothed man muttered as he looked through the warship into the endless darkness. Jiyu Tianhua of the Jiyu family was recognized as a peerless genius in the primordial chaos. Becoming an ancient god in 1,000,000 years had already caused a huge commotion. But in this barren land, there was a monstrous genius who became an ancient god in 17,000 years. "No matter what, we have to kill them." The black-clothed man said in a deep voice, "We can't let them return to the primordial chaos alive. While we're at it, let's meet Bai Ling." The black warship moved forward, heading for the heavenly sovereign sea. 30 years passed in the blink of an eye. During this time, Fang Chen had been cultivating on the god-slaying island, and his demon transformation technique had finally reached the 3rd level. After cultivating the invincible demon spirit, his primordial spirit had undergone earth-shattering changes, and the power of his soul had increased exponentially. During this time, Fang Chen's cultivation had also reached the middle stage of the Void Ancient Realm. He was so powerful that he could fight against an early-stage star ancient god. The power of the supreme ancestral eye also became more and more apparent. Once the heavenly flame was unleashed, it could burn the world. One day, the three giants appeared on the god-slaying island together. Bai Ling sent a voice transmission to Fang Chen, asking him to quickly come and meet them. When Fang Chen arrived, he suddenly found that Fu Huan, Heart Demon Lord, Daoist Bantan, and Ying Xing were already there. "Brother Fang, how have you been?" Fu Huan and the other three greeted Fang Chen with a smile. After the competition between the geniuses, the four of them had become true friends with Fang Chen. Fang Chen smiled and nodded, greeting the four of them one by one. Chapter 2698. The three giants stood side by side with some joy on their faces. How many years had it been since they left their hometown? Now that they could finally go home, they were all very excited. Back then, the scene of them leaving Tianshu Yuan appeared in their minds. Fu Huan and the others were also very excited. Because they also learned about the situation in the ancient chaos and couldn't wait to go to a bigger stage. "We were born to pursue the peak of martial arts. Even if we die, we will die in the ancient chaos," Fu Huan said. "Yes, I have always thought that the celestial master sea was our limit. Who would have thought that there is a wider space outside? There are so many strong cultivators in the ancient chaos. That is our ultimate stage." Lord Inner Demon, who had never liked to talk, was also beaming with joy. "Not to mention Taoist Bantan and Ying Xing. Brother Fang, when we reach the ancient chaos, we will need more help." Fu Huan walked up to Fang Chen and said. Fang Chen nodded. They were all from the ancient Saint Chaos, so they naturally had to help each other when they were outside. "I'm sure you know the reason why I've called you here today." Wu Yu took a step forward and said. "Now, you still have room for regret. Once you set off, there will be no turning back. We have already told you about the cruelty of the ancient chaos. You should carefully consider whether to go or not," Wu Gan said. "We are willing to go to the ancient chaos," Fu Huan took the lead and said. What a joke. If they missed this opportunity, they didn't know when they would be able to leave in the future. They might not even be able to leave until they died. Fang Chen clenched his fists, and his heart was excited. Pursuing the peak of martial arts had always been his dream. Now, he had become the strongest cultivator in the ancient Saint Chaos, and his family and friends were all under his protection, growing up safely and without worries. Without any worries, Fang Chen was able to go all out and give it his all. No regrets. The five of them said one after another. Seeing this, Bai Ling nodded with satisfaction. "In that case, let's go. On the way, the three of us will explain the situation in Tianshu Yuan to you." Bai Ling waved her hand, and suddenly a warship appeared. "What is this?" Fu Huan and the others' faces changed drastically, and they cried out involuntarily. This warship had a powerful aura, and Fu Huan and the others felt extremely oppressed. This is a spatial battleship. Its defense is extremely strong. Even an all-out attack from a life ancient realm expert would find it difficult to break through its defense, Bai Ling said. In the Primeval Chaos, this was the most basic form of transportation. It's the most convenient and safest way to travel through the many chaos voids. Bai Ling waved her sleeve and swept the five of them onto the warship. "Let's go." Around the warship, a powerful force was emitted. Under Bai Ling's control, they rushed into the sky. An even more powerful force was emitted from the warship. Wu Qian's voice had just faded when a vast energy spread out, and the entire celestial master sea was shaking. With a tearing sound, a crack was torn in the realm wall, and the warship entered it and sailed into the darkness. Fang Chen felt that the warship was very bumpy, as if it could fall apart at any time. However, after a while, the warship calmed down. Looking outside through the warship, it was pitch black, and nothing could be seen. "Is this the dark void?" Fang Chen murmured. The vast chaotic realm had been in a state of darkness since the creation of the world. Only in each chaotic void was there a day and a night. In the dark and cold void, the warship moved quickly. "How long will it take for us to reach the ancient chaos?" Ying Xing asked. "At our speed, it will take at least 30,000 years, Wu Yu said. Hearing this, Fu Huan and the others cried out in shock. Especially Fang Chen, his heart trembled. he had cultivated for less than 20,000 years, and it would take 30,000 years to go from the ancient Saint Chaos to the ancient Chaos. Wasn't this too exaggerated? How big is the chaotic realm? Fang Chen thought to himself. How far was the distance between the ancient Saint Chaos and the ancient Chaos? Could the peerless masters who stood at the top of the ancient Chaos, the masters who set the rules of the world, cross the endless distance and come to the ancient Saint Chaos with a thought? For a moment, a mess of information appeared in Fang Chen's mind. After a short communication, the three leaders sat cross-legged and closed their eyes to rest. Fang Chen and the others could only sit separately. Time passed, and the warship moved quickly. In a dark void somewhere, a warship with a huge tiger painted on it slowly moved forward. On the warship, the man in black, who was called Young Master, curled the corners of his mouth, revealing a sinister smile. "Young Master, our warship has found the warship of Qianshu Yuan," the old servant came over and said. "After 30 years, I've finally managed to intercept you." The man in black waved the folding fan in his hand and smiled sinisterly. He was originally an envoy of the sect, choosing prodigies from the gaps of the other two chaotic voids. However, 30 years ago, he received news from the sect that a monster had appeared in the ancient Saint Chaos. He was ordered to go to the ancient Saint Chaos at all costs to kill this person. Now, he had finally met Bai Ling. "We haven't seen each other for so many years. How are you?" The man in black closed the folding fan in his hand and said in a deep voice, "Control the warship and charge forward with full force." The warship was too fast. In the blink of an eye, it had traveled tens of thousands of miles. At this time, Bai Ling also noticed the warship that appeared in front of them. The three leaders stood side by side on the deck, their faces gloomy. "Why would their warship appear here?" Wu Qian said gloomily. "Is it a coincidence?" Wu Yu said. Only Bai Ling shook her head gently. "It's not a coincidence. Lin Xiaozhong is the envoy of the Dragon Bone Chaos. He's quite far from here. It's impossible for him to come here for no reason. Maybe he's here for you, Ling Wu Qian joked. Impossible. As they spoke, the warship stopped moving forward. Fang Chen and the other four staggered and hurriedly stood up. Have we arrived? What happened? Why did the warship stop? The five of them saw the black warship speeding toward them through the warship. Hey! What's that? Creak. The tiger-headed warship stopped in front and looked at Bai Ling's warship. Bai Ling, it's been a while. How have you been? The man in black, Lin Xiaozhong, said loudly through the warship. Lin Xiaozhong. Bai Ling said, why are you stopping my Qianshu Yuan's warship? I heard that the three of you found a peerless monster in the ancient Saint Chaos. I came to take a look, Lin Xiaozhong said calmly. Hearing this, Bai Ling and the other two's expressions changed drastically. As expected. Bai Ling and the other two were discussing countermeasures when they suddenly heard a deafening sound. Immediately after, the warship trembled and a hole appeared. Oh no, it's the tiger-headed warship. Wu Qian shouted and desperately controlled the warship to dodge. It's useless. The power of the tiger-headed warship isn't something you can resist. Lin Xiaozhong sneered. Powerful auras shot out from the tiger-headed warship, which slammed into the warship with loud booms. In the blink of an eye, the warship was destroyed. Run. The three leaders couldn't care less. They controlled the warship that was about to shatter and sailed into the depths of the darkness. You can't escape. Lin Xiaozhong was full of confidence and continued to attack the warship. Crack. The void battleship suffered a heavy blow, broke apart, and fell into the endless darkness. Whoosh. Suddenly, a spatial storm appeared and a vast black hole spun crazily. Caught off guard, the warship was sucked in. When Lin Xiaozhong controlled the warship to arrive, the warship had already disappeared. Damn it. Lin Xiaozhong cursed. Young master, the warship is already broken and has been sucked in by the spatial turbulence. Even if Bai Ling and the other two survive, those little guys will definitely die. The old servant said. He didn't think that those guys in the void ancient realm would be able to resist the spatial turbulence. Lin Xiaozhong pondered for a while and shook his head. After looking into the darkness, the tiger-headed warship returned. Chapter 2699. A shooting star flashed through the darkness, charging into a certain part of the primal chaos. Thump! The world wall was torn apart, and a huge gap appeared. The broken warship crashed into the ground. The Golden Cloud primal chaos was one of the countless primal chaos dimensions, not very far from the ancient sacred primal chaos. The development of the martial Tao here was rather backward, and it couldn't even compare to the ancient sacred primal chaos. The strongest expert here was only at the early stage of the void ancient realm, and there was only one of them. The vast Golden Cloud primal chaos only had one faction, the Golden Cloud race. Because of ancient god Golden Cloud, the Golden Cloud race dominated the primal chaos, and no one dared to oppose them. Today, ancient god Golden Cloud was discussing a few matters with his clansmen when a thunderous boom resounded through all of the Golden Cloud primal chaos. Ancient god Golden Cloud was shaken. "What's going on?" Patriarch Golden Cloud grimaced as he blurted out. Ancient god Golden Cloud spread out his divine sense and instantly discovered the tattered warship descending from the sky. Whoosh! Ancient god Golden Cloud's body flashed, and a second later, he appeared on the wasteland. The wasteland had been transformed beyond recognition, and the tattered warship had been smashed into the earth. "What's this?" Ancient god Golden Cloud walked up to the warship and carefully examined it. He was surprised to see that there were people inside. "What's going on? Where did they come from?" Ancient god Golden Cloud was filled with confusion. With a wave of his sleeve, he brought his clansmen away from the warship. At the same time, he ordered the Golden Cloud race to stand guard here and not allow anyone else to approach. In the territory of the Golden Cloud race, ancient god Golden Cloud carefully examined the blood-drenched clansmen. They didn't die even after taking such a heavy blow. It seems like they're all ancient gods. Ancient god Golden Cloud was sure that these people were all ancient gods. But this only made him even more confused. What were so many ancient gods doing? Why had they descended from the heavens? "Ancestor, what do we do with these people?" Patriarch Golden Cloud asked. "Let's see if we can save them." After some thought, ancient god Golden Cloud began to treat his clansmen. In comparison, the three titans' injuries were lighter, while Fang Chen's group of 5 were more severe. Fang Chen felt like his body was about to be torn apart, and he was in excruciating pain. At the same time, he sensed a powerful force coming at him, and he roared with all his might. With a whoosh, Fang Chen opened his eyes, and his aura trembled. "Where am I? Am I not dead?" Fang Chen hurriedly asked after a brief moment of daze. "You're awake." The one who answered him was Bai Ling. She wore white clothes that perfectly outlined her graceful figure. Although Bai Ling's complexion was not very good, it could be seen that her injuries were more or less healed. What the hell happened? Fang Chen's memories were still stuck in the dark void, where he was attacked by the tiger-headed warship and lost consciousness. "We were attacked by the tiger-headed warship. The warship was severely damaged, and we were struck into the depths of the darkness, into the Golden Cloud primal chaos." Bai Ling gave a simple explanation. "Fortunately, I had ancient god Jin Yun's help. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to recover so quickly. It's good that you're fine." "What about Fu Huan and the others?" Fang Chen asked. "The injuries of the 4 of them are much more serious than yours. They were originally on the verge of death. However, Wu Yu and Wu Gan acted at the same time and their lives were saved. If they want to completely recover, they would need at least a few decades." Bai Ling continued. "Golden Cloud primal chaos? Ancient god Jin Yun?" Fang Chen struggled to his feet, feeling somewhat incredulous. He actually managed to survive such a powerful attack. "Who was it that attacked us?" Fang Chen asked. "Could it be an enemy of Qianshu Yuan?" Bai Ling nodded, a cold killing intent flashing through her beautiful eyes. "Don't think too much about it. Focus on healing. The warship was severely damaged. If they wanted to set sail again, they had to repair it. Ancient god Jin Yun, here's a list. Can you help us gather the materials?" Wu Yu said with a smile. "It is Jin Yun's fortune to be of service to all of you," ancient god Jin Yun respectfully said. After this period of interaction, ancient god Jin Yun discovered that Wu Yu and the other two had all reached the life ancient realm. They were peerless experts. In the face of such experts, he was naturally incomparably respectful. More importantly, the divine arts that the three of them had taken out so casually shocked him. According to Wu Yu, these divine arts could be considered ancient god Jin Yun's reward for saving them. Ancient god Jin Yun treated the three of them as honored guests. While ancient god Jin Yun was personally gathering the materials, Fang Chen also discovered something shocking. "Master, I sense a familiar aura," the heart of Shenming said, flashing with dazzling light. "What aura?" "The old master came here before," the heart of Shenming said. Fang Chen's expression changed dramatically, and he hurriedly asked, "Are you sure?" The heart of Shenming said with certainty. When the old master's cultivation reached a bottleneck, he sensed that there must be an even vaster world beyond the primal chaos. He used his absolute strength to tear open the realm wall and enter the depths of the darkness. "In the golden cloud primal chaos, I sense a sliver of the old master's aura. Although it's very weak, I'm very sure," the heart of Shenming said. "Lead the way. Let's go take a look." After several years of recuperation, Fang Chen's injuries had more or less healed. After hearing this news, he was naturally tempted. With the heart of Shenming leading the way, Fang Chen quickly arrived in front of a danger zone in the golden cloud primal chaos. "It's inside," the heart of Shenming said. "This seems to be a danger zone in the golden cloud primal chaos," Fang Chen muttered. At this moment, a figure emerged from the danger zone. When he saw the carnate Yi wood hanging from Fang Chen's neck, he froze for a moment, and then a hint of greed flashed through his eyes. "Little brother, can I borrow something from you?" the man asked with a beaming smile. "What thing?" Fang Chen asked. "If my guess is correct, the rope around your neck should be condensed from the carnate Yi wood, right? I'm more curious about it. Can I borrow it to take a look?" Fang Chen spread his hands and said, "Sure." As he spoke, he handed the carnate Yi wood to the man. After holding the carnate Yi wood, the man was ecstatic. Boom! Suddenly, the man attacked Fang Chen with lightning speed. Bang! Letting the attack land on his body, Fang Chen smiled and said, "What are you doing?" "You!" The man kept retreating, his heart trembling. Even a heavenly venerable wouldn't dare to block his full-powered attack. Who was this guy in front of him? Could he be the new heavenly venerable? The man thought to himself, "Who are you?" Smack! Fang Chen swung his hand, and a crisp sound rang out. The man's face instantly swelled, and his heart trembled. Ancient God. With a plop, he knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. "I was blind. I didn't know that senior ancient God was here. Please let me go. Let me ask you a question. If you answer honestly, I'll let you go," Fang Chen said. "Senior, please ask. I'll answer everything I know. Is there a heart of black iron in this danger zone?" "Yes, but it's in the deepest part of the danger zone. It's said that it's very dangerous there. Even a heavenly venerable will die there." The man hurriedly said, "Moreover, the heart of black iron has always existed in legends. No one has verified its authenticity." "Oh!" Hearing this, Fang Chen's eyes lit up. According to the heart of Shenming, if there was a heart of black iron in this danger zone, then not only had its old master been here, but he had also cultivated here for a period of time. "Get lost. If you dare to do such a heartless thing again, I'll definitely kill you." Hearing Fang Chen's words, this person felt as if a heavy burden had been lifted off his shoulders, and he quickly disappeared before Fang Chen's eyes. "Let's go in and take a look." Fang Chen leaped and entered the danger zone. "Can you sense it?" Fang Chen asked. "The heavenly Tao laws in this danger zone are somewhat chaotic, preventing me from exploring." The heart of Shenming said, "However, as long as we find the heart of black iron, we'll be able to find the place where Master once cultivated." "Okay." Fang Chen used the space-time escape art to travel through the void toward the depths of the danger zone. At the same time, ancient god Jin Yun had already finished gathering the materials and handed them to Wu Yu. Wu Yu and the other two stood in front of the broken warship, somewhat helpless. "The warship is too damaged. I don't know how long it'll take to repair it," Wu Qian pursed his lips. If we want to return to the primordial chaos, we can only rely on the void worship. We have no other choice, Bai Ling said. Chapter 2700. There was a huge Buddha statue in the depths of the land of despair. It was 100 feet tall and was surrounded by a golden glow, as if one had entered a sacred place of Buddhism. Fang Chen stopped in his tracks and looked at the Buddha statue in front of him. He was slightly shocked. He could feel a vast power from the Buddha statue. The power was like a raging sea, and he was like a small boat, drifting with the waves. Gradually, Fang Chen closed his eyes. His divine sense spread out and shrouded the Buddha statue. Buzz! The thunderous voice penetrated Fang Chen's mind like a clap of thunder. As the electric current spread, his body trembled slightly. However, his heart was unable to calm down for a long time. The true void mystic scripture was activated automatically, and chants spread out in his limbs and bones. At the same time, his state of mind was also changing. Hiss hiss hiss. The heart of Xian Ming emitted a gentle glow and left the carnate Yi wood. It floated in mid-air and came before the Buddha statue. My old master had cultivated here before. After seeing the Buddha statue, the heart of Xian Ming was even more certain that his old master had been here before. Thunderous roars came from Fang Chen's mind and drilled into his heart. In just a few minutes, Fang Chen's state of mind had undergone a great change. Bang! When the last thunderous sound drilled into his body, his entire body trembled. His heart exploded with a blinding light, and a powerful force spread out in all directions, engulfing the entire land. Whoosh! Fang Chen opened his eyes. He could feel that his state of mind had undergone a tremendous change. Mind connecting God. At that moment, all the doubts he had before were cleared up. The speed of the true void mystic scripture was greatly increased. It broke through the bottleneck and reached a higher level. Third level of the state of mind. The corners of Fang Chen's mouth curled up into a smile. He did not expect to be able to cultivate the true void mystic scripture to the third level in such a place. At the same time, his state of mind had reached a higher level. The great Emperor Shu Xian in the past was really impressive. Fang Chen couldn't help but sigh. Although great Emperor Shu Xian was only at the void ancient realm back then, his mental state had far surpassed ancient gods of the same realm. To be able to create a mental cultivation technique like the void mystic true scripture, one can imagine how strong great Emperor Void Mystic's mental state is. Fang Chen murmured. Voila! Suddenly, the mysterious heaven's cone nail that had been silent for a long time rushed out of the Sumeru ring. Congratulations, Master, for successfully cultivating the void mystic true scripture. The mysterious heaven cone nail seemed to be very excited. Ever since the death of his old master, he had never been truly happy. What a pity! Even if you cultivate the void mystic true scripture, your mental state can't be compared to great Emperor Void Mystic, Fang Chen said. Old Master once said that a martial artist's temperament is important. Master, at your age, it's obvious that you've already achieved perfection. The mysterious heaven's cone nail said, after cultivating the true scripture of Void Mystic, Master, your state of mind has already far surpassed martial art practitioners of the same realm. Even Star Ancient Realm elites are inferior to you. In the future, it will be even easier for you to break through your cultivation base. Hearing this, Fang Chen nodded lightly. At this moment, the mysterious underworld's heart had a strange reaction. Did you discover something? Fang Chen asked. Perhaps, Old Master's experiment was successful. The mysterious underworld's heart said in a deep voice, back then, Old Master often sat alone under the starry sky, thinking about how to jump out of the cage and reach a higher level. He thought that the most perfect form was to combine his Taoist secret arts and Buddhist sacred arts. The two completely different ideas were completely mixed together, taking the essence and discarding the dregs to create a peerless divine art that could break through this world. This Buddha statue should have been left behind by an ancient sage. It contains an extremely strong Buddhist aura. I can even sense Old Master's aura in it. This means that Old Master tested his results here. The mysterious underworld's heart said, the Buddha statue is intact and can also contain Old Master's aura. That's why I suspect that Old Master should have succeeded. Fang Chen was a little confused. He did not know much about Buddhism and Taoism. "Master, you can try to absorb the aura in the Buddha statue. You might have an unexpected gain," the mysterious underworld's heart suggested. "Can I absorb it directly?" Fang Chen asked with a puzzled expression. "The energy within the Buddha statue is extremely violent. Furthermore, it is mixed with the aura of the Taoism, causing it to be extremely chaotic. If you forcefully absorb it, it is extremely likely that you will suffer a backlash. However, Master, you don't have to worry." As soon as the mysterious underworld's heart finished speaking, a powerful aura emanated from the mysterious underworld's heart. At the same time, the dark cave mountain suddenly appeared. With the help of the dark cave mountain, Fang Chen began to absorb the power in the Buddha statue. Crack! As soon as he absorbed it, he felt a strong resistance. Oh no! The power in the Buddha statue was obstructing Fang Chen and counterattacking him. Dong! The dark cave mountain played a big role and forcibly absorbed the Buddha statue. Master! As the mysterious underworld's heart shouted, Fang Chen used the mysterious underworld's heart to suppress the Buddha statue and began to absorb it. Hiss! Hiss! The power inside the Buddha statue was rapidly depleting. After a long while, the power in the Buddha statue was almost exhausted. It was also at this moment that a sudden change occurred. The Buddha statue that had dimmed suddenly began to expand. Crack! Fang Chen's body was forced back by the Buddha statue. At the same time, the suppression of the dark cave mountain also shattered. Oh no! The mysterious underworld's heart cursed and frantically activated the dark cave mountain to suppress the Buddha statue. However, it was useless. In the blink of an eye, the Buddha statue had expanded to an extremely high height. Dong! In the process of expanding, the head of the Buddha statue hit the sky above the dark cave mountain. Crack! The dark cave mountain cracked and a crack appeared. The crack kept spreading. In the end, it could not withstand the impact of the Buddha statue and a huge gap appeared. The golden light around the Buddha statue that had dimmed suddenly expanded again and flew out of the dark cave mountain through the gap. Dong! The huge Buddha statue crashed heavily on the ground, causing dust to fly and its aura to tremble. Fang Chen was dumbfounded as the Buddha statue returned to its original state. At the same time, an ancient voice was heard. "Mph, I'll spare you this time on account of my friend." The voice was filled with a cold aura. "If there's a next time, I'll kill you without mercy." Dong! 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 The voice contained an extremely strong impact. Fang Chen's body retreated step by step and he looked as if he was hiding something. When he stabilized his body, his qi and blood were surging and his internal organs were shaking. "Senior, do you know where the old master went?" The mysterious underworld's heart was extremely agitated and asked hurriedly. The Buddha statue fell into silence. After a long while, a sigh was heard. "My friend once discussed the fusion of Buddhism and Taoism with me here. Although he had some achievements, he was not satisfied with the current situation and left this place to continue exploring the depths of the darkness." "Did the old master leave anything behind?" the mysterious underworld's heart asked. "What he absorbed just now was left behind by my friend." "All right, you can go now. Take care." Whoosh! Fang Chen felt a gust of wind blow past him and he appeared on the plains outside the land of extremis. His heart trembled. What kind of existence was inside the Buddha statue? Wasn't it too powerful? With a flip of his hand, he blasted a hole in Immortal Cave Mountain. Why would such an expert be willing to stay in a barbarian place? Fang Chen could not understand. Perhaps, it was an expert from the primordial chaos who came here to cleanse his soul. He did not have any thoughts about the golden cloud chaos. Otherwise, with his strength, he could dominate the golden cloud chaos with a single thought. The old master is still pursuing that path. The mysterious underworld's heart was a little agitated and disappointed at the same time. "Don't worry. As long as you're still alive, we'll meet again one day." Fang Chen comforted him. "Perhaps, we'll meet again in the primordial chaos. By the way, are you okay?" Fang Chen changed the topic and asked. Although the Buddhist senior injured me, he still had a trick up his sleeve. "As long as I have enough time, I can heal you." The mysterious underworld's heart said. That's good. After putting away Immortal Cave Mountain, Fang Chen cupped his hands and bowed to the depths of the land of extremis before leaving quickly. A mighty wind blew past and leaves fell to the ground. Dust flew up and the power of the way of heaven spread in all directions. A sigh came from the Buddha statue in the depths of the land of extremis. Chapter 2701. After returning to the Jinyun race, he saw the three giants discussing some matters with grave expressions. How's the repair of the spatial battleship going? Fang Chen walked over and asked. It should be repaired in about 3 years, Wu Yu said. But even if it's repaired, it won't be as good as before. It'll be dangerous to travel back to the primordial chaos in this darkness. The most important and core energy source of the spatial battleship has been destroyed by the tiger-headed battleship, Wu Qian explained. Hearing this, Fang Chen's expression changed. However, he didn't say anything. The three giants would think of a way, so he didn't need to worry about this. In the Jinyun primordial chaos, densely packed black shadows that blotted out the sky and covered the earth shot out from every corner. Their bodies carried shocking power. After they came out, they wildly destroyed the Jinyun primordial chaos and wantonly slaughtered the Jinyun race. Ha ha ha, I, the Jinyun king, have returned. In the void, the leader of the black shadows was shrouded in a powerful aura. He looked down and saw his children crazily slaughtering the Jinyun race. He laughed heartily in his heart. Back then, Jinyun, that old bastard, took advantage of my injury to heavily injure me and seal me in the black tide. The black shadow laughed wildly. After countless years, not only have I not died, but I've also given birth to countless descendants. Today, I've broken through the seal of the black tide and regained control of the Jinyun primordial chaos. His mighty voice spread throughout the Jinyun primordial chaos. For a moment, countless martial artists in the vast Jinyun primordial chaos trembled in fear. The air was polluted, and a biting cold aura spread. It was as if the end of the world had arrived. Damn it! In the territory of the Jinyun race, ancient god Jinyun had just returned from collecting materials when he heard this shocking voice. With a whoosh, his expression changed. He leaped up and floated in the sky. Across an endless distance, he saw countless black shadows devouring the earth. The descendants of the Jinyun race were falling into pools of blood. Old bastard, I'll make you watch as your descendants die at my hands. Seeing ancient god Jinyun, the Jinyun king sneered. I'll prove to you that I'm the true Jinyun king. From today onwards, the Jinyun clan will completely disappear from this primal chaos. Ancient god Golden Cloud grimaced. He could sense that after countless years, the Golden Cloud King had broken through the seal of the black tide and become even stronger. Even though they were separated by an endless distance, he could still feel his heart palpitating. Stop! Ancient god Jinyun finally lost his patience and attacked. Crack! With a flick of his sleeve, a vast force immediately whizzed down and exploded on the ground. Instantly, countless densely packed black shadows were killed. Your opponent is me. The Golden Cloud King sneered as he leaped toward ancient god Golden Cloud. Dong! King Jinyun's fist, imbued with immense energy, rumbled toward ancient god Jinyun. Thump! Ancient god Jinyun was forced back, his body staggering. A trickle of blood trickled out of the corner of ancient god Golden Cloud's mouth, and his pupils constricted as he stared at the Golden Cloud King. Your strength! Ancient god Jinyun cried out. It's fortunate that you didn't completely kill me back then, giving me a chance to turn things around. The Golden Cloud King sneered. Be at ease. In order to repay you, I will personally wipe out your Golden Cloud race. You! Ancient god Jinyun was enraged. His eyes flashed as he looked at the distant wasteland. The three titans were chatting with Fang Chen. Fang Chen was taken aback, and then he noticed the massive shift in the Golden Cloud primal chaos. For ancient god Jinyun to gather materials for us can be considered a bit of a contribution, Wu Yu said. Let me go and destroy this arrogant scoundrel, Wu Gan said as he prepared to attack. Wait a moment. Bai Ling stopped Wu Gan. She looked at Fang Chen with her beautiful eyes and said, You go and deal with him. Okay. Fang Chen knew that Bai Ling was testing him. Whoosh! With a stomp of his foot, Fang Chen arrived in front of the Golden Cloud King. Ancient God Jinyun, what you bestowed upon me back then, I will return it to you 100-fold, the Golden Cloud King sneered, his face covered in ridicule. Noisy. A loud and clear sound rang out from the Golden Cloud King's body. Soon after, the Golden Cloud King's body slammed into the ground, sending dust into the air as a massive crater appeared in front of everyone. So weak, yet you dare to occupy the primal chaos? Fang Chen indifferently said. Aya! With a wretched scream, the Golden Cloud King charged out of the crater and roared at the heavens. You deserve to die. The Golden Cloud King charged at Fang Chen, carrying with him an intimidating aura. Slap. With another slap, the Golden Cloud King's face became swollen. The latter's body once more slammed into the ground like a cannonball. I will tear you to pieces. The Golden Cloud King's rage soared to the heavens, but he was no match for Fang Chen. After several more slaps, the Golden Cloud King sat on the ground, paralyzed. Just as Fang Chen was about to kill him, he suddenly changed his mind. Swear a martial oath that you will never betray the Golden Cloud race, and I can spare your life, Fang Chen sternly said. In your dreams, before the Golden Cloud King could finish speaking, Fang Chen sent him flying with a punch. You don't agree? I'll beat you until you agree. Rumble. In the following period of time, Fang Chen beat the Golden Cloud King like a punching bag. After a while, the Golden Cloud King dragged his battered body and swore a martial oath. Wouldn't it have been better if you had done this earlier? Fang Chen patted the dirt off his clothes and turned to leave. He left behind a shocked ancient god Jinyun. His eyes were wide open as he watched this scene in disbelief. Although he already knew that Fang Chen's group was extremely strong, he had never imagined that such a young fellow would be so strong. The greatest crisis in the history of the Golden Cloud Primal Chaos had been easily resolved. At this moment, ancient god Jinyun felt a burst of joy, and at the same time, he was happy that he had made a wise decision. If he hadn't been merciful when he first discovered the tattered spatial warship, perhaps the entire Golden Cloud race would have been wiped out. Fang Chen's group had been repairing the spatial warship in the Golden Cloud Primal Chaos this entire time. Helping ancient god Jin Yun resolve this crisis was as easy as lifting a finger. To them, this wasn't a difficult task at all. 3 years later, everyone gathered on the wasteland. The tattered spatial warship was gradually being restored to its original state. How is it? Fu Huan anxiously asked. The spatial warship has been repaired. We can leave now, Wu Yu announced the good news. Wonderful. I'm about to grow a cocoon here, Lord Mental Demon said with a grin. They were used to fighting on the edge of life and death. They truly weren't used to suddenly having to live a comfortable life in the Golden Cloud Primal Chaos. Now that they heard that they could leave, they were naturally very happy. Ancient god Jin Yun personally came to see them off, and the group boarded the spatial warship. Thwish. Wu Yu flicked his finger, sending a dazzling beam of light into ancient god Jin Yun's head. You've put in a lot of effort in these last few years. Consider this a little compensation, Wu Yu said with a smile. Ancient god Jin Yun's body trembled, his eyes widening in shock. This. He was overjoyed. With a rumbling sound, the spatial warship began to move and gradually vanished into the sky. Sitting on the deck, Fang Chen suddenly sensed that the energy he had absorbed from the Buddha statue was stirring. What's going on? Fang Chen frowned as he hurriedly exerted all his strength to suppress this energy. Bai Ling walked over and noticed Fang Chen's abnormality. She placed her small white hand on Fang Chen's wrist and carefully sensed his pulse. She carefully sensed Fang Chen's pulse. A moment later, she raised her head to look at Fang Chen and said, There is a strange aura pulsating in your body. Although I don't know what sort of energy it is, I can sense that if you can successfully refine it, it's extremely likely that it will help you complete your transformation. Calm the heart and focus the mind, sink the energy into your dantian. Bai Ling began to guide Fang Chen in absorbing this energy. At the same time, in the depths of the Golden Cloud Primal Chaos Land, another sigh came from the Buddha statue. I hope that you can comprehend its mysteries, the ancient voice echoed for a long time. I've finally completed my friend's request. In the Golden Cloud Race's territory, ancient god Jinyun raised his head to the sky. Chapter 2702. In the vast darkness, the void battleship continued to sail. In the void, strong winds blew, and from time to time, powerful spatial storms would appear abruptly. It was extremely dangerous. Even Life Ancient Realm experts can't walk alone in the darkness. Fu Huan asked. The entire chaotic realm is in the most primitive state of chaos. Don't think that it's calm now. Once you leave the void battleship, you won't even be able to withstand the pressure in the darkness. Your body will instantly crumble, Wu Yu said. Doesn't that mean that the chaotic energy in the darkness is even stronger? But why doesn't anyone absorb the chaotic energy to cultivate? Lord Heart Demon asked, puzzled. Yes, the chaotic energy is a level higher than the heavenly energy. Wouldn't it be better for martial artists to absorb it? Daoist Bantan said. Ying Xing's dark eyes looked around, feeling a little depressed. What do you know? When the chaotic realm first opened, the vast chaotic energy filled the entire world. Only the chaotic void was not filled by the chaotic energy. The ruler of the chaotic realm set up a series of supreme rules to operate the chaotic void, in order to prevent the chaotic void from being destroyed by the chaotic energy in the darkness. The heavenly energy is the energy that has been purified by the ruler. It won't be too much of a burden for martial artists to absorb. But the chaotic energy is different. If you forcefully absorb it, the most common result is your body exploding, Wu Yu continued. The four were shocked. How powerful was the ruler of the chaotic realm? To be able to refine the chaotic energy and convert it into heavenly energy for the races in the chaotic void to absorb and cultivate. To maintain such a rule, the vast amount of energy needed was simply unimaginable. If the chaotic realm has a ruler, then is there a wider world outside the chaotic realm? Ying Xing asked. In the past, they had always thought that the ancient saint chaotic realm was the pinnacle of the world. Who would have thought that it was just a corner of the chaotic realm? Wu Yu shook his head and remained silent. Wu Qian continued the topic. The chaotic realm is already the highest level of space in the world we live in, and it's also the core of the entire world. What you said has already been proven to be non-existent. Hearing this, the four nodded slightly. Don't think too much. There are countless geniuses in the chaos realm. However, since ancient times, no one has been able to reach the sovereign realm. So, don't bite off more than you can chew. It's best to take it one step at a time. Wu Qian said, raise your cultivation to the star ancient realm first. Otherwise, you won't be able to survive in the immemorial chaos. In the following time, Wu Gan explained many things about the immemorial chaos to the four of them. The primordial chaos was the core of the primordial chaos, but it was much stronger than the ancient sacred chaos and the black marsh chaos. In ancient sacred primal chaos, ancient gods were already considered peak experts. In the immemorial primal chaos, ancient gods were only considered mid-tier experts. Naturally, there were profound gods, turbid sky gods, cosmos gods, and others in the immemorial primal chaos. However, the primeval chaos had gathered all the experts in the entire chaotic dimension, and after countless years of development, it had long since evolved into a place where peerless experts gathered. Ancient primal chaos was a vast land with abundant resources. There were countless powerhouses. Only by reaching the life ancient realm would one have the qualifications to pursue a higher level of martial arts. Wu Yu spoke with assurance, and the four of them nodded in succession, with occasional looks of surprise on their faces. Fang Chen, who was sitting cross-legged on the deck, was surrounded by a golden aura. This was a special power formed by the fusion of Buddhist and Daoist powers. Under Bai Ling's guidance, Fang Chen was finally able to control this power. Hong Long Long, the power in his body vibrated, and Fang Chen completely integrated this power into his body, combining it with his own power. Dong. The void mystic scripture was activated, and in an instant, he felt that his cultivation had crossed the barrier and made another breakthrough. Late-stage void ancient realm? Fang Chen's face was filled with surprise. After reaching the ancient god realm, it was as difficult as ascending the heavens to take another step forward. Some people might not be able to step into the late-stage void ancient realm even after tens of thousands of years of cultivation. There were also people who were stuck at this stage for their entire lives. Of course, there were also geniuses, but it was rare to see someone like Fang Chen, who kept breaking records in the primordial chaos dimension. Seeing Fang Chen's breakthrough, Bai Ling nodded in satisfaction, and a bright smile appeared on her face. "Thank you, Senior." Fang Chen retracted his aura and cupped his fists in thanks. "You're able to achieve this by yourself. You don't have to thank me," Bai Ling said softly. "You have great potential. In the entire primordial chaos dimension, you're one of the top geniuses. I really want to see if you can break the record of the fastest person to step into the Star Ancient realm." Bai Ling's voice was filled with anticipation. In the history of the primordial chaos dimension, the fastest person to step into the primordial chaos dimension was the Jiyu family's Jiyu Tianhua. He took 1,000,000 years to become an ancient god. On the day of his breakthrough, the entire primordial chaos dimension was shocked. However, Fang Chen only used 17,000 years to break Jiyu Tianhua's record with a speed that no one had ever done before or since. Now, he had broken through to the late-stage void ancient realm. Thinking of this, Bai Ling's heart was filled with excitement and anticipation. If I remember correctly, the fastest person to break through to the Star Ancient realm should be the Lin family's Lin Qian, right? He took 100,000,000 years, Bai Ling said. Every name she mentioned was an extremely dazzling genius in the primordial chaos dimension. Lin Qian? Fang Chen was surprised. Jiyu Tianhua from the Jiyu family took 1,000,000 years to step into the primordial chaos dimension, but he didn't break Lin Qian's record? Bai Ling shook her head. How could it be so easy? Jiyu Tianhua's potential is great, but after stepping into the ancient god realm, it's too difficult to break through. Jiyu Tianhua was stuck in the primordial chaos dimension for 1,000,000,000 years before he broke through the bottleneck and stepped into the Star Ancient realm, Bai Ling said. Lin Qian is different. He stepped into the primordial chaos dimension later, but once he reached the primordial chaos dimension, his potential was completely activated, and he became the fastest person to step into the Star Ancient realm in the history of the primordial chaos dimension. After listening to Bai Ling's words, Fang Chen sighed in his heart. In the vast primordial chaos dimension, everything was possible. Jiyu Tianhua, Lin Qian. Fang Chen secretly remembered the names of these two people. Perhaps one day in the future, they would meet. However, to you, they are nothing. Changing the topic, Bai Ling looked at Fang Chen and said with a smile, "Your potential is stronger than either of them. Moreover, your luck is unparalleled. You have the supreme ancestral eye, and it is still evolving. You've cultivated 4 supreme divine arts at the same time, and all the halos are gathered on you. Your future achievements will definitely be greater than theirs." Fang Chen smiled and did not say anything. Just as the other two giants had said, the path of martial arts was vast and boundless. One step at a time, one could not bite off more than one could chew. Otherwise, one would never be able to reach the peak of martial arts. With my avatar guarding the primordial chaos dimension, my wife, daughter, brothers, and friends can all live a peaceful life. I have no worries and can freely pursue the path of martial arts. Fang Chen murmured. A confident smile appeared on his face. Rumble. In the dark void, loneliness and coldness. A void battleship was moving forward at high speed. The primordial chaos dimension. In the few days that Fang Chen had left, the entire primordial chaos dimension had developed rapidly. Especially the Shura sword sect. They were abnormally strong, and the 3 races had to admire them. With the help of the Shura sword sect's powerful resources, Fang Shi's myriad fusion body was completely activated. In a few years, Fang Shi had broken through to the profound god level. She had become the famous fairy Shi of the primordial chaos dimension. As for Fang Chen's disciples, Kang Ju and Tian Xin, their cultivation had also risen and they were showing the demeanor of kings. As for Qing Hu and Barbarian, they had already become the lords of a heaven with their own strength. Xu Xingtian and Mo Shotian had risen from low-class heaven domains to middle-class heaven domains under the two's lead. The two were confident that one day, they would be able to bring their heaven domains into the ranks of super heaven domains. In the White Cloud Palace, the 6 elders of the Elder Assembly laughed heartily. This unprecedented prosperity was created by Fang Chen. Yes, Fang Chen's achievements are destined to be recorded in the annals of history. Countless years later, countless descendants of the human race will sing praises of his achievements. To be able to bring the human race to such new heights, our lives have not been in vain. Chapter 2703. Primordial Chaos, the core of the chaotic realm, the most prosperous chaotic void. The ancient Saint Chaos and the Black Marsh Chaos could not compare to the primordial chaos. If the primordial chaos was the capital of Hua Nation on Earth, then the ancient Saint Chaos was only a small village. A group of people stood on the wasteland and looked at the broken void warship in front of them, sighing in their hearts. After 100,000 years and countless chaotic voids, they had finally arrived at the core of the chaotic realm, the primordial chaos. The void warship had experienced many ups and downs along the way and was completely scrapped. Fortunately, they had arrived. Otherwise, the void warship would have been completely destroyed. Is this the primordial chaos? Lord Mental Demon took a deep breath, and his face was full of excitement. The density of the heavenly Tao energy in the air was simply frightening. Even the Empyrean Sea could not compare. The heavenly energy here is at least 10,000 times richer than the celestial ocean, Lord Mental Demon said in a deep voice, trying to suppress his excitement. There is no precise data, but a peerless powerhouse once made a rough calculation. The heavenly energy in the primordial chaos is about 1,000,000 times richer than in the chaotic realm, Wu Yu said faintly. 1,000,000 times? Fu Huan and the others were shocked. Wasn't this too exaggerated? The heavenly energy was 1,000,000 times richer than the celestial ocean. No wonder this was the core of the chaotic realm, a place where powerhouses were born. In the future, you will be living in this world for a long time. Familiarize yourself with it first, Wu Qian said. After a short rest, we will set off for Tianshu Yuan. If it were not for the accident on the way, Wu Yu and the others should have arrived 70,000 years ago. After the incident with Lin Xiaozhong, Bai Ling and the others were also worried. I have sent a message to the higher-ups of Tianshu Yuan. They have received the news and are on their way, Bai Ling said. Tianshu Yuan, as one of the most powerful forces in this area, had many powerhouses. In the bustling Tianshu Yuan, countless powerhouses gathered in the meeting hall to discuss important matters. Suddenly, the dean's expression changed slightly. The others saw the change in the dean's expression and hurriedly asked, "Dean, what happened?" "Wu Yu and the others are back," the dean said with a smile. "What? They're back? Not only did they return, they even brought back the 5 geniuses," said the dean. "Really? Ha ha ha, that's great." The dean and the others went to welcome Wu Yu and the other 2. 100,000 years ago, they had gathered information from various sources. The Lin family had sent Lin Xiaozhong, who was not far from the ancient Saint Chaos space, to take action. He had boarded a tiger-headed warship to intercept Wu Yu and the other 2. Wu Yu and the other 2's spatial battleship was destroyed and swept into the spatial storm. Their whereabouts were unknown. When this news reached the ears of the higher-ups of Tianshu Yuan, everyone was furious. A monstrous genius who stepped into the void ancient realm in 17,000 years was the future hope of the Tianshu Institute. Yet, Lin Xiaozhong killed him just like that. Because of this, the higher-ups of Tianshu Yuan were furious. After countless strict investigations, they finally found the spy and killed him to intimidate the Lin family. "Let's go. We can't let the Lin family get wind of this." The mayor of Tianshu Yuan also knew what a 17,000-year-old ancient god meant. Once the news spread, the entire ancient chaos space would be in an uproar. Now, the Lin family had received news from Lin Xiaozhong that Fang Chen had fallen. This was even better. News of Fang Chen would not spread. A few days later, under the leadership of the mayor of Tianshu Yuan, many higher-ups arrived at the wasteland. Dean, elders. Wu Yu and the other 2 greeted them with cupped fists. "Ha ha ha, thank you for your hard work." The mayor of Tianshu Yuan laughed and said, "You have made great contributions to Tianshu Yuan. Tianshu Yuan will remember this." Then, The mayor of Qianshu Yuan's gaze fell on the 5 of them and carefully sized them up. Let's go back first. The group of people returned to Qianshu Yuan in a mighty manner. In the meeting hall, the mayor of Qianshu Yuan sat at the head of the table. The elders sat on both sides of him. Wu Yu and the other 2 went back to rest. In the center of the room, Fang Chen and the other 4 stood side by side. I believe the 5 of you have heard from Wu Yu and the other 2 on the way here? The mayor of Qianshu Yuan said, the ancient chaos space is different from the ancient saint chaos space. The law of the jungle is more serious here. If you want to win respect, you have to rely on your own fists. You are the prodigies of a part of the chaotic void. Naturally, Qianshu Yuan will not treat you unfairly. However, your strength, potential, and other aspects have yet to be tested. The mayor of Qianshu Yuan continued, the disciples of Qianshu Yuan are divided into many types. The first type was the handymen. They were not qualified to cultivate the secret techniques of Qianshu Yuan. They could only do hard work and serve the many official disciples. The second type was the nominal disciples. These disciples had the preliminary qualifications to join Qianshu Yuan, but they still needed to accumulate enough experience. The third type was the official disciples. Once they became official disciples, they would receive countless cultivation resources from Qianshu Yuan and have a bright future. The fourth type was the elite disciples. They were the outstanding prodigies among the official disciples and were the focus of Qianshu Yuan's training. The fifth type, which was also the last type, was known as the core disciple. They were the future hope of Qianshu Yuan. In order to become a core disciple, they had to pass layers of tests. If you can pass the test, you can directly become an elite disciple of Qianshu Yuan. The mayor of Qianshu Yuan continued, of course, I will observe your performance in the test. If your performance is outstanding, I will make an exception and promote you to a core disciple. Hearing this, Fu Huan and the other 3 looked excited. Only Fang Chen was calm. With his potential, it was not difficult to become a core disciple. However, the mayor of Qianshu Yuan's next words stunned Fu Huan and the other 3. At the same time, it also made Fang Chen a little confused. You don't need to participate in the test. You can start as a nominal disciple. The mayor of Qianshu Yuan pointed his finger at Fang Chen. Dean, Fu Huan and the other 3 wanted to explain something for Fang Chen, but they were stopped by the mayor of Qianshu Yuan. Well, you have been wandering in the dark void for 100,000 years. Go and have a good rest. After Fang Chen and the other 4 left, the elders looked at the mayor of Qianshu Yuan. The latter sighed and said, Fang Chen's potential is too heaven-defying. It has only been 100,000 years since he stepped into the Void Ancient Realm, but his cultivation has already reached the peak of the Void Ancient Realm. If this news gets out, all the forces in the ancient chaos will go crazy, won't they? I can't even see through him. With his cultivation speed, it is very likely that he will break Lin Qian's record of being the fastest to step into the Star Ancient Realm. The mayor of Qianshu Yuan said, so, in order not to attract the attention of other forces, let him become a nominal disciple. In fact, this was the mayor of Qianshu Yuan's protection for Fang Chen. Think about it, becoming an ancient god in 17,000 years. This kind of earth-shattering news would definitely stir up thousands of waves if it got out. In the vast ancient chaos, many peerless experts and super forces would be tempted. Some people wanted to get Fang Chen, and some people wanted to strangle a genius. At that time, a mere Qianshu Yuan would not be able to protect him. Therefore, before he had absolute strength, he must not expose his identity. This was especially true for the Lin clan. He couldn't allow them to see any clues. Remember not to spread what you saw today, the mayor of Qianshu Yuan reminded. Qianshu Yuan, on a tree-lined path. Fang Chen and the other 4 walked side by side. Fu Huan and the other 3 wanted to say something but stopped. They wanted to comfort Fang Chen several times, but seeing the latter's indifferent expression, they did not speak in the end. After walking for a while, Lord Mental Demon finally could not bear it anymore. This is not fair. Qianshu Yuan is suppressing Brother Fang, Lord Mental Demon said discontentedly. If Brother Fang, with his potential, can only be a nominal disciple, Then what qualifications do the four of us have to be elite disciples? Brother Fang, don't you want to say something? Seeing that the four of them were anxious for him, Fang Chen smiled and said, actually, you don't have to be like this. So what if I am a nominal disciple? It is the same everywhere. External forces are always limited. The only thing that can really help you is your own efforts. But, Fang Chen shook his head, his dark eyes looking at the blue sky. Maybe this is to protect me. At this moment, his ambition was soaring. One day, I want this sky to no longer be able to cover my eyes. Chapter 2704. Tianshu Yuan was located on a mountain range. There was no one within a radius of 10,000 miles. A mountain near the main peak was surrounded by powerful restrictions. Many elders, including the chief of Tianshu Yuan, stood quietly. In front of them, there was a smooth mirror with an image on it. In the image, Fang Chen and the other four separated and entered a secret realm. Since Fang Chen is an in-name disciple, why did you let him participate in the test? An elder asked, puzzled. The chief of Tianshu Yuan gently stroked his beard and said with a smile, I also want to see how extraordinary a peerless genius who entered the void ancient realm in 17,000 years is. Hearing this, the other elders fell silent. 17,000 years, this was definitely a very shocking number. Even the most dazzling Jiyu Tianhua in the entire ancient chaos took 1,000,000 years to enter the void ancient realm. Thinking of this, the elders' hearts were filled with shock, and their faces were full of eagerness. In the secret realm, Fang Chen surveyed his surroundings. The first thing he did was to confirm his surroundings. Hunting void ancient demonic beasts isn't difficult for me, Fang Chen said in a low voice, it's just that hunting star ancient demonic beasts is a bit more difficult. Although he knew it was difficult, Fang Chen did not say anything. Just as the chief of Tianshu Yuan said, to become an elite disciple, one must be both intelligent and brave. Strength alone, without intelligence, was not enough. I wonder how Fu Huan and the others are now. Fang Chen murmured. With a leap, he disappeared into a pitch-black forest. Roar. Sensing the human's aura approaching, the monsters in the forest roared and rushed toward him. Good timing. Fang Chen shouted inwardly. He took out the hidden star sword and slashed out. The dazzling sword light was boundless and powerful, and it slashed at the black shadow that rushed toward him. Poochie. The sword light pierced into the monster's body, and it was immediately injured. Bang. Stellar transposition. Fang Chen's figure appeared behind the demonic beast like a ghost and smashed its head with a punch. Late void ancient realm demonic beast. Fang Chen curled his lips. With his current strength, he was already invincible in the void ancient realm. Dealing with void ancient realm demonic beasts was simply a piece of cake. Fang Chen cleanly cut down a monster beast and placed its head into his spatial ring. Then, he continued to sneak into the darkness to hunt down more monster beasts. This scene was witnessed by the chief of Tianshu Yuan and the others on the mountain peak. Everyone nodded in satisfaction. That's right. This kid's thoughts are meticulous. It's hard to come by. An elder praised. That's right. Not panicking in the face of danger, and considering every step carefully. Only such a genius can go far on the path of martial arts. I can't wait to see how this guy kills a star ancient realm monster beast. Several people spoke up, expressing their great admiration for Fang Chen. Even the chief of Tianshu Yuan nodded slightly and said with a smile, with his strength, he's almost invincible in the void ancient realm. I just don't know how he'll kill a star ancient realm monster beast. Killing a star ancient realm monster beast was the most important part of the elite disciple assessment. Under the gaze of many higher-ups, Fu Huan and the others also began to hunt down the monsters. However, they weren't like Fang Chen, who relied on his strength to kill the monsters. In just a few hours, they finished killing the void ancient realm monster beast. Next was the star ancient realm monster beast. The four of them gathered together, and after a short discussion, they decided to team up. Only Fang Chen still chose to act alone. It wasn't that he was arrogant, but he believed that the star ancient realm monster beast's overall strength was far beyond the void ancient realm. It wasn't something that could be defeated by teaming up. He already had a rough idea in his mind. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed in the secret realm. As early as 5 days ago, Fang Chen had finished killing the Void Ancient Realm monster beast. During these 5 days, he had been using the space-time escape technique to hide in the dark, observing a Star Ancient Realm monster beast. This early Star Ancient Realm monster beast has a strong aura. It's in the prime of its life, and its attack power is very strong, Fang Chen murmured. However, its intelligence seems to be a bit weak. In the immemorial chaos, monster beasts were everywhere. Some monster beasts could reach the ancient god realm when they reached adulthood, and some were even comparable to life ancient realm experts when fully grown. Of course, there were strong and weak. The weak here referred to the weak in intelligence. This was the difference in thinking between Fang Chen and Fu Huan and the other 3. The 4 of them teamed up to specifically target the weakest Star Ancient Realm monster beast. But Fang Chen was different. The monster he chose was much stronger than the average early Star Ancient Realm monster, but its intelligence was low. On a towering tree, Fang Chen was faintly discernible. He opened his supreme ancestral eye and stared ahead. Although there was a strong layer of airflow between them, he could still see it clearly. That monster beast seemed to be a tiger-type monster beast. It gave people the impression that it had a strong head and a strong brain. For the past 5 days, all it did was eat and sleep. Fang Chen curled his lips. This monster beast was too lazy. Today, he was ready to take action. Having grasped the habits of this Star Ancient Realm monster beast, Fang Chen set up a powerful array around a pool not far away. Then, he hid the hidden star sword under the water. After everything was ready, he used the space-time escape technique to hide. Deng! 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 Time was up. The tiger-headed monster slowly walked to the pool to drink water. Goo-goo-goo. It didn't feel anything strange at all. It stuck its head into the pool and drank. Buzz! A layer of ripples appeared on the surface of the pool. In the next moment, a ray of light broke out of the water, carrying a powerful sword chi, and directly pierced the tiger-headed monster's mouth. Roar! The tiger-headed monster roared angrily and shook its head, flinging the hidden star sword away. Boom! At this time, Fang Chen was secretly controlling the array. The surrounding area was sealed by a powerful array. The tiger-headed monster attacked the array frantically. After Fang Chen took the hidden star sword, he swung his hand and performed the Shura sword technique. At the same time, he fully activated the demonic transformation technique. Invincible demonic chi emerged from his body, and the attack power of the Shura sword technique increased countless times. After performing the Shura sword technique, Fang Chen didn't waste any time. He moved the stars and appeared behind the tiger-headed monster, performing the Azure Sky Sword technique. Poochie! The hidden star sword shook and pierced the tiger-headed monster's butt. Roar! The tiger-headed monster screamed miserably. Its huge body kept shaking. The aura in its body leaked out. In an instant, it fought fiercely with Fang Chen. Seeing this scene on the smooth surface of the mirror, the chief of Qianshu Yuan sighed and shook his head. Fang Chen's various performances were enough to be ranked as a core disciple. Unfortunately, in order to protect him, he could only start as a nominal disciple. Wonderful, this boy's mind is too calm. Yes, attacking the enemy's vital point and cleverly defeating the tiger-headed monster. I really want to take this guy as a disciple, but unfortunately, even the chief of Qianshu Yuan wasn't qualified to take him as a disciple, let alone elders like them. There was no need to watch the next test. Fang Chen's performance was almost perfect, and he received the unanimous approval of all the higher-ups. 3 days later. At the end of the test, Fu Huan and the other 3 surprisingly passed and became the new elite disciples. As for Fang Chen, he headed to the Nominal Peak alone. The Nominal Peak was the mountain where nominal disciples lived and cultivated. Fang Chen. On the top of the mountain, Bai Ling suddenly appeared and called Fang Chen. Fang Chen stopped and turned to look. You don't have to be depressed. Bai Ling pondered and said, with your potential, you will definitely be famous in the ancient chaos in the future. However, when it's time to be patient, you still have to be patient. Fang Chen nodded and cupped his fist to thank her. Looking at Fang Chen's back, the 3 giants stood side by side. Their faces were full of complicated expressions. The dean did this to protect him, Wu Yu said. However, I don't know if such a peerless genius can accept it in his heart, Wu Qian said worriedly. If he can't cross this hurdle, it will breed inner demons. The 4 people who weren't as good as him could all become elite disciples, but he was only a nominal disciple. Wu Qian was worried that Fang Chen would take things too hard and fall into trouble. I believe in her. Her white robe fluttered in the wind, and her graceful figure was completely revealed. Bai Ling said softly with a confident smile on her pretty face. Chapter 2705. Nominal Peak. This was the living area of nominal disciples. It was also the place where they cultivated. There were many nominal disciples on the huge nominal peak. As soon as he arrived, Fang Chen saw an elder waiting for him with a smile that wasn't a smile. Greetings, elder. Fang Chen nodded. The dean has already told me. I'll bring you to your residence. The grey-robed elder led Fang Chen down a tree-lined path. They quickly arrived at a luxurious area. In this area, every single courtyard was the residence of a nominal disciple. This is the Violet Tea Garden. Only the top 100 nominal disciples can live here, said the grey-robed elder. However, your situation is special. I'll arrange for you to live here. The grey-robed elder handed a badge to Fang Chen. The number 100 was written on it, representing the 100th monastery. The outermost 100th monastery will be your courtyard. The grey-robed elder took out a small booklet and handed it to Fang Chen. The rules of the nominal peak are all written here. If you want to obtain resources here, you have to put in the corresponding effort. If you want to become a formal disciple, you have to pass a test. After settling Fang Chen, the grey-robed elder left. In truth, the grey-robed elder was also a bit curious. This fellow's appearance was so ordinary. She couldn't understand how he had managed to alarm the dean and even personally come find him. Within the 100th monastery, Fang Chen was sitting on a stone stool, earnestly reading the booklet. He had no idea that his residence had already caused the disciples of the Violet Tea Garden and the nominal peak to be extremely dissatisfied. Why can a new disciple live in the Violet Tea Garden? That's right. Only the top 100 disciples of the nominal peak can live here. Did he enter through the back door? TMPH, the 100th monastery was originally obtained by Li Xinlong defeating his opponent. But now it's been snatched away by a new disciple. There'll be a good show to watch. The nominal peak was filled with all sorts of opinions. Many disciples were curious just who Fang Chen was and how he could directly live in the Violet Tea Garden. TMPH, how dare he take Brother Long's resources? His courting death. No matter what kind of background he has, he cannot occupy Brother Long's courtyard. Many of Li Xinlong's followers said that they wanted Fang Chen to leave Purple Tea Garden as soon as possible. No matter what happened in the outside world, Fang Chen didn't care at all. Nominal disciples are, after all, the outermost disciples of Tianshu Yuan. It is extremely difficult for them to obtain resources. Fang Chen closed the booklet and muttered to himself. After reading the booklet, he had basically understood the situation of the nominal peak. The strongest nominal disciple was only at the late void ancient realm, so Yang Kai didn't even need to use his full strength to defeat him. The chief of Tianshu Yuan let Fu Huan and the other 3 become elite disciples, but he let me become a registered disciple. Fang Chen muttered, he must be afraid that my existence will be discovered by the Lin family and other forces. In fact, Fang Chen understood, but he just didn't say it out loud. Suddenly, there was a commotion outside the courtyard. Then, a series of shouts came into the courtyard. Originally, Fang Chen didn't plan to pay attention to them, but some people's curses were very unpleasant, so Fang Chen stood up immediately. Bastard, get out of Purple Tea Garden. Damn you, how dare you occupy Brother Long's courtyard? Did you eat a bear's heart or a leopard's guts? Creak. Just as many nominal disciples were shouting, the courtyard door opened, and Fang Chen walked out. Suddenly, there was silence in front of the door. You are the new nominal disciple? The leader of the group, a yellow-haired guy, asked arrogantly. Fang Chen nodded, and the latter sneered. Do you know who owns the courtyard you are living in now? Isn't it mine? Fang Chen asked back. Yours. A newcomer like you is qualified to live in Purple Tea Garden? Let me tell you, the owner of the 100th courtyard was defeated by Brother Long, so he gave up the right to live in the courtyard. Originally, Brother Long planned to move in soon, but who would have thought that Elder Grey Robe would arrange for you to live here? This is a slap in the face. Do you think you are so great just because you have a background? On Nominal Peak, no matter how great your background is, it is useless. The group of people had different opinions and glared at Fang Chen. The yellow-haired man stepped forward and sneered, "You will live in Nominal Peak for a long time in the future. I advise you not to offend Brother Long." "Who is Brother Long?" Fang Chen asked casually. Li Shenlong, ranked in the top 100 nominal disciples, the yellow-haired man said. "What does it have to do with me?" After saying that, Fang Chen was about to turn and leave. Seeing this, the yellow-haired man stepped forward and stopped Fang Chen. "Kid, don't refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. You will not have a good ending if you offend Brother Long." Fang Chen was speechless and slammed the door shut, leaving the angry crowd behind. This guy is too arrogant. What should we do? If he doesn't come out, we can't do anything to him. The yellow-haired man rolled his eyes and finally gritted his teeth and made a decision. "Go in." Bang! The yellow-haired man kicked the door open and entered the courtyard. "Make it quick. Don't let others see." Many nominal disciples surrounded Fang Chen in a menacing manner. Fang Chen narrowed his eyes and grinned. "If I remember correctly, the Nominal Peak forbids other disciples from barging into Ziming Garden's courtyard. You have violated the rules. Even if I cripple you, the elders won't say anything. The premise is that you have to have the strength." The yellow-haired man sneered and immediately attacked. Bang bang bang! Fang Chen's body turned into a series of after-images, like a gust of wind blowing past. Banging sounds came from the courtyard. Numerous honorary disciples were lying on the ground in a disorderly manner. Miserable cries came from their mouths. "How dare you attack a fellow disciple? This is a capital offense." The yellow-haired man roared angrily. Fang Chen walked towards him step by step. "Pa!" A crisp slap landed on his face. Suddenly, a red and swollen handprint appeared on his face, clearly visible. "Trash, like you don't even have the qualifications to make me use my full strength." Fang Chen scolded. The yellow-haired man was stunned by the slap and his heart was full of shock. "Boy, just you wait. Brother Long won't let you go." After a while, the courtyard became much quieter. "Brother Long, that newcomer is too arrogant. We all said that the 100th courtyard is your courtyard, but he still attacked." "That's right. He doesn't take you seriously at all. Brother Long, please cripple that guy." Many injured nominal disciples, led by the yellow-haired man, found Li Shenlong. The latter's back was straight as he stood there quietly. His pitch-black eyes moved and he was deep in thought. A terrifying aura was emitted from his body. Bang! Suddenly, Li Shenlong turned around and slapped the yellow-haired man. "Idiot, don't you know the rules of the Nominal Peak? How dare you barge into Ziming Garden's courtyard? You're courting death." Li Shenlong said fiercely, "You broke the rules first. Even if that guy kills you, he won't be punished." Hearing that, the yellow-haired man hesitated. However, after pausing for a moment, Li Shenlong's expression changed and he said in a deep voice, "However, although you broke the rules first, you're still working for me. He didn't give me face by beating you up like that." Li Shenlong sneered. "I'd like to see how capable you are. You just came to the Nominal Peak and you dare to go against me." Seeing that, many nominal disciples were secretly delighted. If Li Shenlong attacked, that guy would be seriously injured even if he didn't die. Ziming Garden, in the 100th courtyard. Fang Chen was thinking about how to combine the Azura sword technique and the clear sky sword technique. Suddenly, a voice came from outside. "Li Shenlong is here to visit. Fellow Daoist, please come out for a chat." Fang Chen's thoughts were interrupted and he was a little annoyed. "Get lost, don't bother me." Fang Chen reprimanded directly. Outside the door, Li Shenlong's face turned pale when he heard that. He clenched his fists tightly and his knuckles cracked. He was burning with anger. However, he suppressed his anger and said with a sinister smile, since you don't want to meet me, I hope you'll continue to hide in the courtyard and don't come out." After saying that, Li Shenlong turned and left. In an instant, news about Fang Chen spread from the nominal peak. Chapter 2706. The rumors were getting more and more ridiculous. In the end, many people thought that Fang Chen relied on his background to squeeze out Li Shenlong's courtyard. But when facing Li Shenlong, he only dared to challenge him in the courtyard. For a time, many nominal disciples snorted disdainfully and sneered when they talked about Fang Chen. Fang Chen ignored the situation that was getting more and more intense. "Brother Long, are we just going to let it go?" asked a disciple. "Now the whole nominal peak is paying attention to this matter. I can't rashly barge into the courtyard." "We can only wait," said Li Shenlong coldly. "But that guy is too arrogant. He actually dares to hoot in front of Brother Long." Li Shenlong shook his head, a strange look flashing in his eyes. "I remember that there's still half a month before the annual disciple gathering on Nominal Peak, right? Could it be?" Hearing this, the other nominal disciples showed a sinister smile. "The annual gathering is indeed a good opportunity. I don't believe that he won't go." During this time, Nominal Peak was very lively. Countless people's eyes were on the 100th courtyard. Even the outstanding disciples of Ziming Garden shook their heads at this. Offending Li Shenlong is obviously not a wise choice. Exactly. How strong can a newcomer be? Maybe he's really strong and doesn't fear Li Shenlong. Some people supported Fang Chen, while others thought that Fang Chen's action was extremely unwise. Nominal Peak. The courtyard at the front was leaning against a small mountain. The stream flowed down and the scenery was beautiful. On the gate of this courtyard was the number 3. This meant that the person living here was the third-ranked nominal disciple. The courtyard was bustling with activity. The sound of running water could be heard. Several female servants were hurriedly watering the flowers. In the picturesque garden, a graceful woman sat quietly on a stone bench, her hand supporting her chin. Looking at the stream flowing down in front of her, a sweet smile appeared on her face. "Miss Ziqiang." An old woman came over and called out in a low voice. The woman didn't turn her head. She was still looking ahead. "I've already asked around. That new nominal disciple seems to be called Fang Chen." The old woman said, "His strength should be around the mid-void ancient realm. Huang Haired and the others were beaten up by him in his courtyard. Li Shenlong can't do anything to him. What an interesting guy." Ziqiang smiled faintly. "In the gathering half a month later, I'll see if he's unworthy of his reputation or he's not afraid of Li Shenlong." Not only Ziqiang, the other nominal disciples were also paying attention. Time flowed like water. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. During this time, Fang Chen didn't leave his courtyard. Every day, he would spend his time in the courtyard researching the compatibility of the Azure Sky Sword Art and the Azura Sword Art. Dong 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 dong. "Come in." With a creak, the door opened. A handyman quickly walked in and said, "Young Master Fang, the annual gathering of disciples on the Nominal Peak begins today. Would you like to go and have a look?" "I'm not going." Fang Chen waved his hand. He didn't want to participate in such a boring gathering. He only wanted to cultivate in peace. "But," the servant said, "according to the rules of the Nominal Peak, nominal disciples have to attend the annual gathering every few days. It's better for you to go." Fang Chen raised his head and glanced at the servant. "If that's the case, I'll go take a look." Nominal Peak. Many people came and went in front of the summit hall. "Ha ha ha, Brother Long, I heard that you have the strength to enter the top 100. That's something worth celebrating." The many nominal disciples in front of the main hall were all relatively weak. The real geniuses were all in the summit hall. The annual gathering was just for the disciples to exchange pointers and learn from each other. Fang Chen came to the summit hall and walked straight in. "Look, that guy's here." Fang Chen's arrival quickly attracted the attention of many people, especially Li Shenlong. He walked straight to Fang Chen. However, the latter ignored Li Shenlong and walked into the summit hall. Suddenly, many nominal disciples widened their eyes. "Does this guy want to die? What right does he have to enter the summit hall? Arrogant, too arrogant." He doesn't know who he is. How dare he enter the summit hall? Many people roared angrily. Li Xinlong's face was a little gloomy. The corners of his mouth curled up, revealing a sinister smile. Interesting. As soon as he finished speaking, Li Xinlong also walked into the summit hall. The summit hall was bustling with activity. Many disciples were in groups of 3 or 5, exchanging their experiences with each other. Fang Chen, after glancing around, found a corner and sat down. He lowered his head and pondered. Humph, pretentious. Li Xinlong sneered and immediately walked straight to Fang Chen. Fang Chen, I want to challenge you. Li Xinlong's voice immediately attracted the attention of many disciples in the summit hall. They all looked over. According to the rules of the annual gathering, no matter who issued a challenge, they had to accept it. However, they were not allowed to maliciously hurt others. Under everyone's gaze, Fang Chen did not even raise his head. I don't have time. This sentence immediately caused Li Xinlong's expression to change drastically. He clenched his fists, and the anger in his heart could no longer be suppressed. You, Li Xinlong gritted his teeth and said. The other disciples frowned. They were somewhat dissatisfied with Fang Chen's performance, but they did not say anything. In their opinion, such a disciple was not qualified for them to say anything. Good, very good. I'd like to see how long you can be arrogant. Many of the nominal disciples present were geniuses of the Ziming Garden. Li Xinlong wanted to make friends with the nobles, so he did not want to lose his temper in front of them and leave a bad impression. After leaving these cold words, he turned around and left to exchange pointers with the other geniuses. After a while, many disciples in the summit hall had long forgotten about Fang Chen. Only Zi Qiong's beautiful eyes flickered as she looked curiously at Fang Chen. Is he really that confident, or is he just playing to the gallery? Zi Qiong murmured. There were many disciples around who were giving him a fake look. She was tired of this kind of life. She rejected the other disciples' invitation and walked straight to Fang Chen's side. Zi Qiong was a famous fairy of the nominal peak. Wherever she went, she would be the center of attention. Why is Fairy Zi Qiong looking for that guy? Damn it. Is he trying to get Zi Qiong's attention by playing with the crowd? For a moment, the crowd seemed to have guessed Fang Chen's intention. Some of the disciples who admired Fairy Zi Qiong were extremely dissatisfied with Fang Chen. Hello, my name is Zi Qiong. Fairy Zi Qiong introduced herself. Fang Chen kept his head down and ignored her. Suddenly, the summit hall was filled with curses. This guy is too arrogant. He doesn't even give face to Fairy Zi Qiong. Humph. He is just a newcomer. How dare he play to the gallery again and again? He is courting death. Fairy Zi Qiong looked at Fang Chen closely and became even more curious. She noticed that Fang Chen's body was covered with a layer of sword qi. It seemed like he was in a state of enlightenment. So he is in a state of enlightenment. Fairy Zi Qiong nodded. No wonder he ignored her. Humph. How dare a piece of trash like him practice sword Dao? If he dares to accept my challenge, I will make sure he can't take care of himself. That's right. How dare he ignore Fairy Zi Qiong? He deserves death. Fairy Zi Qiong said proudly. Brother Lan, when it comes to sword Dao, I am afraid no one on the nominal peak can match you. Many disciples cupped their fists and said to the man in blue. Senior Brother Lan's sword Dao is not something ordinary people can compare with. That's right. Senior Brother Lan's sword Dao is more than enough to beat everyone. It won't be long before Senior Brother Lan becomes an official disciple. Someone took the opportunity to ask Senior Brother Lan to explain his understanding of sword Dao. Senior Brother Lan, there are many disciples who practice sword Dao. Why don't you use this opportunity to enlighten us? At the same time, show those who are fishing for fame what a real sword Dao is. Seeing this, the man in blue smiled and waved his hand to signal everyone to be quiet. Since everyone loves me so much, I will explain sword Dao to everyone. Lan Shu said with a smile. Then, Lan Shu began to talk. Chapter 2707. Sword Dao. The more Lan Shu spoke, the more excited he became. At the same time, everyone was pleasantly surprised. No wonder he is the #1 sword cultivator of the nominal peak. Senior brother Lan Shu's understanding of sword Dao has reached such a level. I admire him. Senior brother Lan Shu deserves to be the #1 sword cultivator of the nominal peak. Yes, senior brother Lan Shu is not some embroidered pillow who only knows how to play to the gallery. Being praised by everyone, Lan Shu was also very happy and his face was full of smiles. Those nominal disciples who lined up in front of Lan Shu also nodded their heads in satisfaction. Lan Shu's attainment in sword Dao is really rare. Someone commented. Hearing this, Lan Shu was even more delighted. He looked at Zi Qiong. Zi Qiong blinked and stared at Fang Chen, which made Lan Shu very unhappy. Fairy Zi Qiong, why do you care about a guy who only knows how to play to the gallery? Lan Shu said. Fairy Zi Qiong shook her head. She seemed to have seen that Fang Chen was extraordinary. She could sense that the sword qi that enveloped Fang Chen's body seemed to contain a power that she could not see through. Maybe this person is really powerful. Fairy Zi Qiong looked up and said, Impossible, if he can beat me, I will kneel down and call him Grandpa. Fairy Zi Qiong, don't be deceived by his harmless appearance. Yes, this guy forced his way into Ziming Garden through the backstage and even challenged Li Xinlong. His character is not good. Many people persuaded Fairy Zi Qiong not to get close to Fang Chen. Fairy Zi Qiong, if you are interested in sword Dao, I can explain it to you carefully. Lan Shu took the initiative to say. However, Fairy Zi Qiong shook her head. This made Lan Shu even more unhappy. He secretly glanced at Li Xinlong. The latter nodded, knowing that it was time for him to go on stage. Fang Chen, I want to challenge you. Li Xinlong walked in front of Fang Chen and shouted. There was a powerful force in his voice that directly shook Fang Chen's primordial spirit. Dong. Fang Chen's mind shook and suddenly his thoughts were interrupted. Damn it. Fang Chen opened his eyes and cursed. It wasn't easy to find a clue, but it was interrupted. This feeling was very unpleasant. What? Weren't you very arrogant before? How come you don't even dare to accept my challenge now? Li Xinlong sneered. Fang Chen frowned and slowly stood up. Interrupting other people's cultivation is an extremely impolite thing to do, Fang Chen said calmly. You are cultivating? Li Xinlong laughed maniacally. Don't think that we don't know that you are just using this opportunity to attract Zi Qiong's attention. Forget it. Fang Chen stared at Li Xinlong and shook his head. He sighed and walked out of the summit hall. There's no point in participating in such a meaningless gathering. His words thoroughly infuriated Lan Shu and the rest. Many of the disciples had long been displeased with Zhongxian, and at this moment, they were venting their displeasure. Brat, you are too arrogant. A meaningless gathering. You're looking down on everyone. Humph, arrogant and ignorant guy. Although countless curses came from behind, Fang Chen still ignored them. Coward. Suddenly, Fang Chen stopped in his tracks and turned his head. What did you just say? Fang Chen asked. I said you are a coward. You don't dare to accept my challenge. Li Xinlong sneered. Fang Chen narrowed his eyes and walked in front of Li Xinlong. You are no match for me, but you keep provoking me. Do you want me to kill you? Fang Chen said. You are still talking nonsense at this time? Accept my challenge if you dare. Li Xinlong said coldly. Fang Chen took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. If he knew that this was a meaningless gathering, he wouldn't have come. He looked around and asked, what if two people accidentally hurt each other during the annual gathering? Humph, if you have the ability, so what if you kill the other party? But you also have to be prepared to be killed by the other party. Lan Shu sneered disapprovingly. Fang Chen nodded, since that's the case, then you can go to hell. As soon as his voice fell, Fang Chen suddenly threw a punch. Bang! The boundless fist radiance bombarded Li Xinlong's body with the force of a sudden clap of thunder. Crack! Li Xinlong's body flew out like a kite, slamming into the wall of the summit hall. Dong! A deafening sound sounded. A large hole appeared in the wall. Blood splattered everywhere. Li Xinlong's body fell to the ground in a sorry state. Fang Chen shrugged. Sorry, I hit too hard. When everyone looked at Li Xinlong, their faces changed drastically. How is this possible? Many disciples were shocked. Killing Li Xinlong with one punch, this was too exaggerated, right? Li Xinlong is dead. Even Lan Shu rubbed his eyes hard, unable to believe it. You actually really killed Li Xinlong? Lan Shu was furious and yelled loudly. Immediately, he was about to attack. He's too weak. I just threw a punch casually. Who knew he was so weak? Fang Chen shrugged. Moreover, he provoked me time and time again. I didn't bother to attack him, but he didn't let it go. Now that he's dead, who's to blame? For a moment, many disciples looked at Fang Chen, dumbfounded. This was too exaggerated, right? Killing a fellow disciple in public at the annual gathering? Good, very good. Since you said the weak are prey to the strong, then I'll let you experience what it means to be prey to the weak. After saying that, Lan Shu walked out step by step. Senior brother Lan, to deal with this kind of trash, why do you need to take action? A man walked out from the crowd. You want to challenge me too? Fang Chen asked. The man nodded. You killed Li Xinlong, and you want to leave unscathed. What do you take us, the nominal disciples, for? So, you want to avenge Li Xinlong? Fang Chen asked. What's your ranking on the nominal peak? No, I'm only ranked 57th. Although I'm slightly weaker than senior brother Lan Shu and the others, it's enough to deal with you. The man sneered. If you can withstand one punch from me, then I'll admit defeat. After saying that, Fang Chen threw out another punch. The man didn't even have a chance to block and was drowned by the fist. Crack! The man's body exploded, and a terrifying force swept across the entire hall. Crash! Many nominal disciples in the summit hall were completely shocked. The disciples who were ranked in the top few stared at Fang Chen with fixed eyes. Fairy Ziqiang smiled. I knew it. You're not the embroidered pillow, they said. At this moment, Fairy Ziqiang finally believed that Fang Chen was able to stay in Ziming Garden with his own strength, and not with someone backing him as they claimed. This is going to be a good show. Fairy Ziqiang said. Lan Shu walked towards Fang Chen step by step, his dark eyes filled with murderous intent. What? Do you want to follow in their footsteps? Fang Chen pointed at the bloodstains on the ground. Do you have the strength? Lan Shu was surrounded by sword qi, and a long sword appeared in his hand. Sword cultivator? Fang Chen glanced at him and said, Oh, I was wondering why someone was talking about sword Dao when I just had an epiphany. That must be you. I really don't know how brave you are to talk about sword Dao in the hall of the summit. Fang Chen sneered, the number one sword cultivator of the nominal peak? I think you're more like the number one sword cultivator of the nominal peak. Facing Fang Chen's ridicule, Lan Shu was enraged. He clenched his long sword tightly, and his heart was filled with anger. What's the point of showing off? When I force you into a dead end, you will know how childish your words were. Lan Shu said, so what if you have the strength to be in the top 100? You shouldn't be so arrogant. Arrogant as you? You've only learned half of it, but you talk about it in front of others as if you're so powerful. In fact, you're just a beginner in sword Dao. Fang Chen curled his lips. In the hall, many disciples were watching the two bicker with interest. Fairy Ziqiang's beautiful eyes were looking at Fang Chen. You think my sword Dao is weak? Then do you dare to compete with me? Lan Shu said. Why wouldn't I dare? Fang Chen said, but he quickly shook his head. Forget it. I'm afraid that after the competition, you will start to doubt your life. Pucci. Chapter 2708. What's wrong? Are you scared? Fang Chen didn't want to argue with Lan Shu, but Lan Shu thought that he was scared. Fang Chen found it ridiculous that he would meet such an idiot wherever he went. You want to leave after killing someone? Do you think you can do it? Lan Shu's aura surged, and his sword qi rushed towards Fang Chen. Inside the summit hall, the atmosphere instantly froze. Everyone knew that Lan Shu was pressuring Fang Chen with his powerful sword qi. No matter how powerful the sword qi was, Fang Chen didn't move, and his face didn't even change. This scene made Ziqiang Fairy even more curious. How strong is Fang Chen? Others think that he is just playing to the gallery, but I don't think so. Ziqiang Fairy thought to herself. His expression doesn't look like a weakling at all. He is pretending to be weak. Thinking of this, Ziqiang Fairy's eyes lit up. She was surprised to see Fang Chen. I said that your sword Dao can't be called sword Dao. Fang Chen shook his head, and his words dispersed the powerful sword qi around him. Fang Chen repeatedly humiliated Lan Shu with his sword Dao, and Lan Shu was furious. You keep saying that I don't understand sword Dao, so you are also a sword cultivator? Lan Shu said. You think that your sword Dao is strong, so why do you have to explain it to everyone here? In the face of Lan Shu's sarcasm, Fang Chen turned and walked out of the hall. Whoosh! A resplendent sword light shot out from Fang Chen's finger. It carried a vast amount of power as it shot towards Lan Shu. Lan Shu was caught off guard, and his clothes were pierced by the sword qi. If you want to fight, let's fight. Lan Shu took a step forward and rushed out of the hall. The disciples outside didn't know what happened in the hall. Isn't that Fang Chen who offended Li Shenlong? Why did he come out? Was he forced out by Li Shenlong? Who is the man behind him? When the disciples saw Lan Shu, their expressions changed drastically. In the sky, Fang Chen and Lan Shu faced each other. The atmosphere in the air was very heavy. Brat, I'll let you know the outcome of offending me, Lan Shu said solemnly. Many geniuses walked out of the summit hall. Cut the crap. If you don't make a move now, you'll never have the chance, Fang Chen said. Whoosh. In the sky, as Lan Shu waved his long sword, beams of resplendent sword light shot out. These sword lights converged in mid-air, condensing into a vast sword shadow. The sword shadow contained an extremely powerful force. Fine. Fang Chen glanced at Lan Shu's swordsmanship and shook his head gently. I'll let you know what the real sword principle is. With that, Fang Chen flicked his finger and replaced the sword light with his finger. Activating the Azura sword skill, Lin Fan's radiant finger light formed a powerful sword light in the air. What's that? The geniuses standing in front of the summit hall widened their eyes, their hearts trembling. Fairy Ziqiang's mouth was wide open. She was shocked to the extreme. As the third in-name disciple, she felt her heart palpitate at this moment. I've never seen such a heaven-defying swordsmanship. It's too strong. Is this still swordsmanship? Those in-name disciples who were ranked higher were shocked and stared blankly at the void. Crack. A crisp sound was heard. The swordsmanship that Lan Shu was so proud of shattered like glass. At the same time, Lan Shu's body flew out and landed heavily on the ground. The sword principle is not what you said at all. Fang Chen looked down at Lan Shu condescendingly, surrounded by sword qi. You don't understand the real sword principle at all. You boast that you're strong in the sword principle. What a joke. In Fang Chen's view, Lan Shu was just deceiving himself. No, I won't lose. Lan Shu shook his head and fell into madness. He roared to the sky and rushed towards Fang Chen again. A trace of murderous intent flashed in the latter's eyes. Just as he was about to attack, a purple light suddenly blocked in front of Lan Shu. How about giving me some face? Fairy Ziqiang looked at Fang Chen and said with a smile. Fine, I'll give you some face. Fang Chen shrugged and retracted his qi. Below, many disciples were shocked. Was this still the new disciple they were talking about? Was this still the arrogant new disciple who hid in Ziming Garden and dared not come out? I can't accept this. Lan Shu was indignant and roared furiously. However, Fairy Ziqiang gently nodded. You are no match for him. If I didn't stop him, you would have followed in Li Shenlong's footsteps. Come back. A few of the disciples who were ranked at the front yelled. Lan Shu lowered his head like a stray dog and quickly left the summit hall. I really didn't expect Brother Fang to be so secretive. It really opened my eyes. A man in red said with a smile. The annual gathering is still going on. I boldly invite Brother Fang to solve the doubts of many sword cultivator disciples. Is that okay? The person who spoke was the number 1 nominal disciple, called Kai Xiu. Fang Chen wanted to refuse, but seeing the expectant eyes of many sword cultivators below, he nodded and agreed. In the summit hall. After experiencing the previous incident, Fang Chen had become the genius of the nominal peak. Even Kai Xiu felt that Fang Chen's strength was too strong. Even if he took action, there was not much chance of winning. Many people are often confused when they comprehend the sword Dao. The most important thing to cultivate the sword Dao is the state of mind, not the swordsmanship. Fang Chen spoke with assurance. What he said was his own personal experience. He explained for about half an hour, during which no one interrupted his explanation. Those sword cultivator disciples were even more dumbfounded. It turned out that the sword Dao could be cultivated like this. A door seemed to have opened in their minds. Ha ha ha, great, after listening to Senior Brother Fang's explanation, I feel enlightened. Yes, Senior Brother Fang is the #1 sword cultivator of the nominal peak. Such sword Dao is much stronger than Lan Shu. Now I finally understand why Senior Brother Fang disdained to fight Lan Shu. The sword Dao genius is none other than Senior Brother Fang. Countless words of praise swarmed in. The gathering continued, and many disciples learned from each other. As for Fang Chen, he quietly left the summit hall. Ziming Garden, in the 100th courtyard. As soon as Fang Chen entered the door, Fairy Zi Qiong came. Fang Chen. Fairy Zi Qiong called, "Can you come to my courtyard for a chat?" "Huh? What's the matter?" Fang Chen asked puzzledly. "I'm very curious about you, and even more curious about your identity and origin. I think we can sit down and have a good talk," Fairy Zi Qiong said. Fang Chen stared at Fairy Zi Qiong, and in the end, he agreed. The third courtyard was filled with singing birds and fragrant flowers. It was like a paradise on earth. Fang Chen couldn't help but sigh. As expected of the third courtyard. It was so much better than his 100th courtyard. "If you like, you can have one of the top 10 courtyards." Fairy Zi Qiong seemed to have seen through Fang Chen's thoughts. She walked to the center of the garden and sat on a stone bench. Fang Chen shook his head. His ambition wasn't here, so a courtyard wasn't very attractive to him. "Sit." Fairy Zi Qiong pointed to the stone bench beside her. Fang Chen sat down and looked at Fairy Zi Qiong. "What do you want to say?" "From the beginning, I felt that you were extraordinary, and I was right." Fairy Zi Qiong said, "I can sense a special aura on your body, the kind that comes from the wilderness." "Huh?" Fang Chen frowned, trying to figure out what Fairy Zi Qiong meant. "You are not from the primordial chaos, but from the remote primordial chaos void," Fairy Zi Qiong said softly. Hearing that, Fang Chen's expression changed, and he stared at Fairy Zi Qiong. Fairy Zi Qiong smiled at him. "Don't be so tense, I mean you no harm." Fairy Zi Qiong stretched out her hand, and suddenly, a powerful aura surrounded her. "Because I also come from the remote primordial chaos void. We are the same kind of people," Fairy Zi Qiong said. Fang Chen carefully sensed the aura released by Fairy Zi Qiong. Indeed, there was a special kind of aura. "You called me here just to talk about this?" Fang Chen asked. Fairy Zi Qiong shook her head, "Of course not." Chapter 2709. Looking for me? Fang Chen was even more surprised. Why would Zi Qiong Fairy want to see him? Was it just because they were both from the chaotic void? Fang Chen had a feeling that Zi Qiong Fairy had been trying to get close to him ever since he met her. He looked up and observed Zi Qiong Fairy up close. The latter's face lit up with a smile. "I am from the West Mist. What about you? Why don't you introduce yourself?" Zi Qiong Fairy pursed her lips and smiled. "Don't worry, I won't expose your identity. I am from the ancient Saint Chaos." Zi Qiong Fairy had never heard of the ancient Saint Chaos. "After I was chosen by the emissary, I came to Tianshu Yuan. Unfortunately, due to my personal reasons, I have not made any progress in my cultivation. Since then, I have become the laughingstock of Tianshu Yuan." "What does that have to do with you looking for me?" Fang Chen asked. "I found an ancient ruin in the territory of the Tianshu courtyard. If we can get it, it will definitely increase our strength," Fairy Zi Qiong said. "Unfortunately, I've tried many times, but I can't get into the ruin." "You want my help?" Fang Chen asked. "Why did you choose me?" Because the natives of the ancient Saint Chaos despise all outsiders. Although I have made a name for myself on the nominal peak, I am nothing in the eyes of the official disciples. All these years, I've been enduring silently, waiting for help. Your appearance just gave me the feeling that help is coming. Fairy Ziqiang didn't hide anything and told Fang Chen everything. Why should I help you? Fang Chen asked. Ziqiang Fairy pondered. That relic might have been left behind by a powerful sword cultivator. It is very important to you. As for me, I only need the illusory sky flower in the ruins. You were able to defeat Lan Shu with one finger. Your strength is enough to make you one of the top official disciples. Your stage is no longer here. You need to be strong enough to strengthen yourself. Work with me and you will get what you want. Ziqiang Fairy said. Fang Chen thought for a moment. Deal. Ziqiang Fairy smiled and reached out her hand. I look forward to working with you. When are we leaving? The annual gathering isn't over yet. You're already a celebrity on the named peak. If we leave now, people will start speculating. Wait for my news. Fairy Ziqiang said. Fang Chen nodded and left. Looking at his back, Fairy Ziqiang was lost in her own thoughts. She seemed to be lost in her memories. The annual gathering that lasted for 3 days finally came to an end. Fang Chen's name resounded throughout the nominal peak. Many disciples were talking about him. Especially when he killed Li Xinlong with his fist and defeated Lan Shu with his finger, it had already become the topic of discussion after meals. After Elder Grey Robe heard the news, he couldn't wake up from the shock for a long time. No wonder the mayor of Qianshu Yuan personally came here for him. Finally, Elder Grey Robe knew the reason. On this day, many senior members of the nominal peak held an emergency meeting to discuss the issue of Fang Chen. The next day, there was finally a conclusion about Fang Chen killing 2 fellow disciples at the annual gathering. The senior members announced that Li Xinlong and Lan Shu were the ones who provoked them first. Fang Chen didn't violate the rules, so he didn't need to be punished. Everyone already knew that the Qianshu Yuan wouldn't let a genius like Fang Chen go unpunished. Why would they punish him for 2 dead disciples? Just when everyone was talking about it, another bombshell came out. Given that Fang Chen's strength was far superior to the disciples of the same level, the disciples of the nominal peak were re-ranked. After a comprehensive consideration, many senior members of the nominal peak believed that Fang Chen could be ranked 3rd. When the news came out, the entire nominal peak was shocked. A newcomer who came to the nominal peak less than a month ago was suddenly ranked 3rd and pushed Fairy Ziqiang out of the top 3. Wasn't this too much? Fang Chen's strength is obvious to all. There is no problem for him to be in the top 3. That's right. He defeated Lan Shu with one finger. If it weren't for Fairy Ziqiang, Lan Shu would have been dead. Even Kai Xiu could barely do that. Some people even thought that Fang Chen's strength was enough to compete with Kai Xiu. Of course, there were also some people who thought that this decision was too reckless. To be able to be in the top 5 disciples, which one of them didn't go through the test of blood? Wasn't it too early to make a conclusion based on only 3 battles? However, no matter what they said, it couldn't change the fact. When he was informed that he could move to the 3rd courtyard, Fang Chen directly refused. Since he had already cooperated with Fairy Ziqiang, why would he take her courtyard? Many disciples were dumbfounded by Fang Chen's refusal. A new round of speculation was incessant. Most people thought that Fang Chen was obsessed with Fairy Ziqiang's beauty, so he gave up the 3rd courtyard to her. When Fairy Ziqiang heard these words, she smiled gently and didn't say anything. For her, the most important thing was to cooperate with Fang Chen and get the illusion flower. Otherwise, all these years of forbearance would be in vain. In the 100th courtyard, Fang Chen had found a trace of similarity between the Azura sword art and the clear sky sword art. Whoosh! His figure flickered, shuttling back and forth, and the hidden star sword in his hand was also constantly waving. A ray of Azura sword light and a ray of clear sky sword light burst out from the hidden star sword one after another. Condense! When the 2 rays of sword light were suspended in mid-air, Fang Chen shouted in a low voice. 2 completely different sword principal auras emerged from his body. In the next moment, something incredible happened. The two rays of sword light were actually merging. Hiss! In a flash, the two rays of sword light merged together. Dong! After the fusion, a powerful sword light was formed, emitting a trembling aura. Disperse! Fang Chen shouted again, and the sword light dissipated. The space was distorted, the air was raging, and the remaining aura still shook the courtyard. Dong! Dong! Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. The door opened, and Kai Xiu walked in. Brother Fang. Kai Xiu nodded and said, I didn't disturb you by taking the liberty of visiting, did I? Brother Kai Xiu. When others respected him, he naturally would not ignore it. Kai Xiu looked around and felt the swift and fierce sword aura in the air. He admired Fang Chen even more in his heart. Brother Fang's attainments in sword Dao are really impressive. Brother Kai Xiu didn't come to find me just to say this, right? Fang Chen asked bluntly. Kai Xiu chuckled, since Brother Fang is so straightforward, then I won't beat around the bush. This time I came to find you to discuss something. Fang Chen pointed to the stone bench, and the two sat down. Brother Fang, do you know how an in-name disciple becomes an official disciple? Kai Xiu asked. Pass the test. Kai Xiu nodded, however, Brother Fang probably doesn't understand the difficulty of the test, right? I came here this time to cooperate with Brother Fang. Every once in a while, there will be an assessment. If you succeed, you can soar to the sky and become an official disciple of Tianshu Yuan. However, every test is very difficult, and the success rate is less than 1 in 10,000. After a pause, Kai Xiu continued, during the assessment, Tianshu Yuan will send disciples ranked at the bottom among the official disciples to stop us. Official disciples, even if ranked at the bottom, their strength should not be underestimated. Therefore, Kai Xiu did not have much confidence in the assessment, so he came to find Fang Chen. If we join forces, passing the assessment is not a big problem. Kai Xiu smiled. Fang Chen looked at Kai Xiu, you believe in my strength so much? Kai Xiu nodded. Well, since you believe in me so much, what's the harm in helping you once? Fang Chen said, go back. On the day of the assessment, I will naturally help you through the difficulties. Fang Chen's words were full of confidence. Kai Xiu opened his mouth, wanting to speak but hesitated. Just say what you want to say. Fang Chen's impression of Kai Xiu was not bad. Brother Fang, after watching your battle with Lan Shu, I have always wanted to see real swordsmanship. I don't know if Brother Fang would be willing to do me the honor. Whoosh! The star-hidden sword flashed, and an unimaginable sword light appeared in the void in an instant. This sword light circled in front of Kai Xiu a few times before dissipating. Dong! Kai Xiu's heart trembled, his body trembled, and he was dumbfounded. Kai Xiu's eyes widened, looking at Fang Chen. It turned out that during the annual gathering, he did not use his full strength at all. Too strong. Kai Xiu was secretly delighted. The stronger Fang Chen was, the greater their chances of passing the assessment. Chapter 27:10. In the second courtyard of the nominal peak. Darkness and gloominess were the main themes of this courtyard. The gloomy air was filled with murderous power. A man in armor had just entered the courtyard when his face turned completely solemn. Upon closer inspection, there was a layer of biting cold sword qi surrounding his body. He was a sword cultivator. He turned his head and saw a grey ball in the west of the courtyard. This grey ball emitted a power that caused people to tremble. Crack! Just as he was surprised, the grey ball cracked and then collapsed. A figure slowly walked out from it. It was the second-ranked nominal disciple of the nominal peak, Black Face. As his name suggested, his face was incomparably dark and he stood there with an imposing aura. Brother Face. The armored man quickly walked to Black Face and whispered, I want to obtain Fang Chen's swordsmanship. Black Face turned his head to look at the armored man with flickering eyes. After a long time, he said, do you think his swordsmanship is very strong? When he performed his swordsmanship, the sword principle aura in my body vibrated and caused a resonance. And I can feel that he did not use his full strength. If I can obtain his swordsmanship, I will definitely be able to enter the top 10, said the armored man. He looked at Black Face with a burning gaze, waiting for the latter's reply. Hearing this, Black Face grinned. I promise you. Who asked me to owe you a favor before? Thank you, Brother Face. The armored man was overjoyed and thanked him with cupped fists. On the nominal peak. Because the official disciple assessment was about to begin, every disciple was cultivating in seclusion. At a glance, the entire nominal peak was extremely quiet. Darkness shrouded the earth and the stars twinkled under the night sky. Fang Chen sat on a stone bench and looked up at the void. With a thought, he could sense everything that happened in the ancient Saint Chaos. His original body and avatar shared the primordial spirit, so the avatar could also benefit from the original body's comprehension. Yuna, Hana. A happy smile appeared on Fang Chen's face. When I have a firm foothold in the ancient chaos, I will bring you here, muttered Fang Chen. Rip. Just as Fang Chen was thinking, his expression suddenly changed slightly. Fang Chen didn't panic, and his face didn't show any abnormality. His divine sense gradually spread out, scanning the surroundings. In an instant, he discovered the black-faced man hiding in the dark. Black Face, ranked second on the nominal peak? The corners of Fang Chen's mouth curled up, revealing a sinister smile. Come out. Fang Chen picked up the wine cup on the stone table and drained it in one gulp. In the darkness, Blackface walked out in surprise. You can discover me? Blackface asked. Fang Chen sneered. You think you can fool me with that level of skill? What? You want my swordsmanship? It seems that you are much smarter than I thought. I, Darkface, love to make deals with smart people. Since you already know why I'm here, you should know what to do, right? Darkface said. Fang Chen nodded. Yes, I already know what to do. Darkface stretched out his palm. Hand over your swordsmanship, and I can spare your life. From now on, I will shelter you on the nominal peak. Fang Chen slowly got up, his dark eyes looking at Darkface. Do I need your protection? The black-faced man's outstretched palm suddenly stiffened. His whole body exuded a terrifying aura. So, you don't intend to hand over your swordsmanship? Darkface looked at Fang Chen playfully, rubbing his fists, ready to attack at any time. Fang Chen gently shook his head and didn't say anything more. Being ignored by Fang Chen, Darkface was completely enraged. Damn guy! Darkface said in a deep voice. Immediately, he took a step forward, and the courtyard was suddenly filled with a strong aura. His big hand grabbed at Fang Chen's head. Stop! Swoosh! At the gate of the courtyard, a fist light roared and blocked Darkface's attack with a bang. Kai Xiu! Darkface's body kept retreating. After stabilizing his body, he saw that the person who attacked was Kai Xiu. He roared angrily, You want to stop me? Fang Chen is my nominal peak's disciple. Isn't it too much for you to attack him in public? Kai Xiu walked in front of Fang Chen and confronted Darkface. Fang Chen was calm and indifferent. He didn't look Darkface in the eye from beginning to end. There was a faint smile on his face, as if he was watching a play. Kai Xiu, mind your own business. At this point, if Darkface retreated, what face would he have in the nominal peak in the future? Therefore, even if the person in front of him was Kai Xiu, he had to fight him. Boom! Kai Xiu attacked. He blasted out dozens of punches in a row, each containing a powerful force. Damn it! Rumble! A deafening sound rang out. Darkface exerted all his strength and barely withstood Kai Xiu's fist light. Kai Xiu, do you really want to go against me? Darkface roared. It's not that I'm going against you, but that you're going against me. Kai Xiu spread out his hands and said, Brother Fang and I hit it off at first sight, regarding each other as bosom friends, but you attacked him in public. How can I sit idly by and do nothing? Humph, who doesn't know how to say high-sounding words? Kai Xiu, I overestimated you. I didn't expect that you're also a sanctimonious guy. In order to get the supreme treasure on Fang Chen, you didn't hesitate to play this kind of trick. Darkface sneered. I, Darkface, disdain to associate with people like you. Finished speaking, Darkface flicked his sleeves, turned around, and left. This matter isn't over. See you in the official disciple assessment. Looking at Dark Face's departing back, Kai Xiu sneered, arrogant and conceited guy. Immediately, he restrained his aura, turned to look at Fang Chen, and said with a smile, Brother Fang, I was also passing by and happened to see Dark Face attacking you, so I helped you stop him. But I believe that even if I don't make a move, Dark Face can't possibly be Brother Fang's match either. Kai Xiu said with a smile. Fang Chen nodded. Although Kai Xiu was deliberately making friends with him, it could also be seen that he treated him sincerely. Brother Kai Xiu, I appreciate your kindness. Fang Chen said, during the official disciple assessment, I'll let you see my sincerity. Brother Fang, what are you saying? Kai Xiu said. Courtyard number 2. Brother Face, how was it? Seeing Dark Face return, the armored man hurriedly asked. Humph. Dark Face snorted coldly, his face full of gloominess, and his heart full of anger. Damn Kai Xiu, actually daring to ruin my good deed. Dark Face gnashed his teeth. Kai Xiu? He helped Fang Chen block your attack. The armored man cried out involuntarily. Could it be that he also has his eyes on Fang Chen? Thinking of this, the armored man looked flustered. If Kai Xiu got Fang Chen's inheritance treasure, how could he have a share? Don't worry, a mere Kai Xiu is not in my eyes. My trump card is reserved for the official disciple test. When the time comes, I'll definitely let Kai Xiu know the outcome of going against me, Blackface. Blackface said solemnly, during this period of time, you don't have to be impatient. We have plenty of time. Despite his reluctance, the armored man still nodded his head. Kai Xiu made his position clear. He could only rely on Dark Face, otherwise, the chances would be even slimmer. Above the nominal peak, the 3 giants looked down. Since the 3 of them returned, they had been valued by the chief of Tianshu Yuan. The fact that they were able to bring back a 17,000-year-old void ancient realm prodigy was a great achievement. Their status in the Tianshu courtyard was rising steadily. This guy has only been at the nominal peak for such a short time, and has already caused such a big commotion. Wu Yu laughed. With his strength, there's no problem for him to become a core disciple. He's wronged at the nominal peak. Wu Qian said. The dean naturally has his reasons for doing this. The Lin family is watching covetously. If they find out that Fang Chen is still alive, they will definitely fight back crazily. Bai Ling said indifferently. The dean has already trained Fang Chen as his last disciple. Wu Yu and Wu Qian heard this and nodded. Indeed, although Fang Chen was at the nominal peak, the chief of Tianshu Yuan was always paying attention to his movements. The nominal peak can also be considered a training. Bai Ling said. It's easy to lose yourself when you just came to the ancient chaos. The dean let him start as a nominal disciple. In addition to protecting him, it can also be considered a baptism of his heart. I really look forward to this guy's rapid growth. Wu Qian's eyes were full of a fiery look. Once such a prodigy grew up, he would definitely shock the entire ancient chaos. Chapter 27:11. After the annual gathering, the nominal peak was quiet again. However, from time to time, some nominal disciples would mention Fang Chen's name. This name was in the limelight at the annual gathering. It was incomparably dazzling. However, Fang Chen was not idle. He had been studying the fusion of Azure Sky Sword Art and Azura Sword Art. A few months later, in the 100th courtyard, Fang Chen was cultivating. Layers of powerful halos of sword chi appeared around him. The 2 completely different types of sword chi merged together to form an even more powerful power of the Way of the Sword. Bang! Fang Chen controlled the sword Dao power and condensed it into a sword light. At this moment, Ziqiang Fairy gently knocked on the door, and then walked in with light steps. Seeing Ziqiang Fairy, Fang Chen's mind moved, and the sword light in front of him directly dissipated. There was a lingering sword Dao aura in the air, which was extremely terrifying. After seeing this scene, Ziqiang Fairy's heart skipped a beat. Her beautiful eyes twinkled and became more charming. She smiled brightly, thinking that she had chosen the right person. Fang Chen was the person she was looking for. With him, it would be easy to enter the ancient ruins. Can we go now? Fang Chen asked. Ziqiang Fairy gently nodded, and her red lips slightly opened. It's been a few months. Although you're still in the limelight, many people don't pay attention to you. It's time to move. When do we leave? Now. Fang Chen nodded, and after a little tidying up, he followed Ziqiang Fairy and left the nominal peak. In the first courtyard, Kai Xiu looked down at the foot of the mountain. Fang Chen and Ziqiang Fairy's back appeared in his eyes. The two of them left the nominal peak now. What are they doing? Kai Xiu's heart was full of doubts, but in the end, he gently shook his head. Since he had chosen to cooperate with Fang Chen, then he should not interfere with his life. However, unlike Kai Xiu, in another direction, Blackface, who was hiding in the dark, also noticed Fang Chen and Ziqiang Fairy's departure. "Mph, bitch." The black-faced man sneered. Immediately, he used void evasion and silently followed Fang Chen. As soon as they reached the bottom of the mountain, Ziqiang pushed her speed to the limit. Fang Chen followed closely behind and the two of them dashed into the depths of the mountain range. The relic is in the depths of the mountains. With our speed, it will take us about 2 hours to get there. Fairy Ziqiang said. Fang Chen nodded and looked around. Suddenly, his ears twitched as he sensed a change in the void. Fang Chen's spirit sense spread out and merged into the void. In an instant, he found the black-faced man behind him. With a cold harumph, Zhongxian feigned ignorance and continued on his way. 2 hours later, Fang Chen and Fairy Ziqiang arrived at the heart of the mountain range. There was a huge mountain range here. The relic is in the mountains, let's go in. Fairy Ziqiang said. Wait, Fang Chen called out. Fairy Ziqiang was surprised and was about to ask. Let me deal with this annoying fly first. After saying that, Fang Chen flicked his finger, and a bright light shot out from his finger. It pierced through the void and directly hit the black-faced man. Poochie. The light shot through the black-faced man's chest, and his body was revealed. Blood spurted out, and his breath was weak. He was seriously injured. His eyes widened, and he looked at Fang Chen in disbelief. You found me? The black-faced man was so proud of his space concealment technique, but Fang Chen saw through it. How could the black-faced man not be shocked? He forced himself to stop the bleeding and wanted to retreat. Caught off guard, Fang Chen pierced through his chest. His injuries were serious, and his combat strength was greatly reduced. Seeing the black-faced man retreating, Fang Chen sneered, Since you are here, there is no need for you to leave. Whoosh! A dazzling sword light burst out from the hidden star sword. Boom! When the sword light came, the black-faced man was shocked to find that his body couldn't move. Fang Chen, you can't kill me, we are from the same sect. The black-faced man finally felt fear, and he shouted loudly. However, it didn't help. Now you know that we are from the same sect. Fang Chen sneered, and the power of the sword light didn't decrease, and it went straight to the black-faced man. Dong! A deafening sound resounded through the sky. The black-faced man's body exploded, and his body and soul were destroyed. Whoosh! Whoosh! A breeze blew, and the powerful force in the air was blown away. The sword chi that was raging in the air also gradually dissipated. Fang Chen withdrew his aura, held the hidden star sword, and walked to the side of Fairy Ziqiang. Let's go, we can go in now. Fairy Ziqiang was stunned for a moment, and then she recovered. Her heart beat faster, and her beautiful eyes flashed with surprise. Although she knew that Fang Chen was powerful, she didn't expect him to be so powerful. Even Kai Xiu couldn't withstand a single attack from him. Fairy Ziqiang thought to herself. In the depths of the mountain, there was a huge seal. This seal was very strong, and if it wasn't for Fang Chen's powerful array formation, it would be difficult for ordinary people to break it. I see. Fang Chen grinned. This ancient ruin should be left behind by a star ancient realm elite. For Tianshu Yuan, it wasn't that attractive. Plus, the seal was special, so no one had discovered it until now. However, Fairy Ziqiang found it by accident. How is it? Can you break the seal? Fairy Ziqiang asked hurriedly. Fang Chen opened his eyes, and his aura spread out. In just a few seconds, he had seen the core structure of the seal. Seals and arrays are different, but they lead to the same goal. Fang Chen said calmly. This seal was set up with a unique method. Its defensive power is comparable to a peak Void Ancient Realm elite, and ordinary Void Ancient Realm ancient gods can't break it. But, at this point, Fang Chen paused. Fairy Zi Qiong's face was full of smiles. If Fang Chen said so, it meant that he was confident in breaking the seal. Let me give it a try, Fang Chen said. Do you need my help? Fairy Zi Qiong asked. Fang Chen shook his head. Step back. Fairy Zi Qiong retreated to a safe location. Fang Chen closed his eyes as a thick aura of the Tao of formations gushed out from him, colliding with the sealing formation hidden in the void. Buzz. Fang Chen waved his hands, and a series of hand seals drilled into the seal. Crack. After a long time, Fairy Zi Qiong heard a crisp sound. Soon after, the seal was revealed, showing signs of cracking. Did it work? Fairy Zi Qiong was overjoyed, and her eyes shone with excitement. Dong. Suddenly, Fang Chen threw out a punch. It was as heavy as Mount Tai as it smashed into the cracked seal. Crack. A crack appeared in the seal, and Fang Chen shouted, "Go in." He took a step forward and jumped into the forbidden area. Fairy Zi Qiong followed closely behind. Crash. Fang Chen and Fairy Zi Qiong landed in a dark underground. Is this the ancient ruins? Fairy Zi Qiong looked around and asked in surprise. Buzz. An incredible sound came from the underground, and Fairy Zi Qiong's body trembled, and her face turned pale. Don't listen. Fang Chen shouted, and at the same time, he used his power to isolate his ears from the outside world. Layers of ripples appeared. The power hidden in the darkness seemed to have a demonic nature that could destroy people's hearts and lungs. Go. Fang Chen endured the attack and jumped, and at the same time, he slashed with his sword. Crack. One of the statues in front exploded with a loud bang, and the demonic sound stopped abruptly. Phew. Fairy Zi Qiong heaved a sigh of relief. The demonic sound was too strong, and it targeted the primordial spirit. Are you okay? Fang Chen asked. Fairy Zi Qiong shook her head. I'm fine, thank you. The demonic sound came from this statue, and it targeted the primordial spirit. Your primordial spirit hasn't evolved yet, so it can't withstand the demonic sound. Fang Chen shrugged. The primordial spirit was divided into 9 stages, and above the 9 yuan stage was the king stage. Fang Chen's primordial spirit had already evolved to the king stage when he broke through to the void ancient realm. Therefore, the demonic sound just made him feel uncomfortable, but it didn't pose any threat to him. On the other hand, Fairy Zi Qiong's primordial spirit was at the 9 yuan stage, and it couldn't withstand the demonic sound's attack. Something is wrong here, be careful. Fang Chen looked at the statue that he destroyed and continued forward. This seems to be a passage. Fairy Zi Qiong looked around and whispered. Chapter 27:12. The giant sword contains a powerful sword Tao energy that protects the stone room. If you try to take the illusion flower, you will be hurt by the sword qi. Fang Chen said. Fairy Zi Qiong lowered her head in shame and put the illusion flower into her bag. Buzz. The giant sword vibrated and a vast aura entered Fang Chen's mind. Fang Chen felt his scalp tingle. He endured the pain and accepted the inheritance. After a while, Fang Chen's face relaxed. Are you okay? Fairy Zi Qiong asked worriedly. Fang Chen shook his head. The stone room itself is a powerful seal that gathers sword qi. It is a paradise for sword cultivators. I plan to cultivate here for a while. What about you? I have already got the illusion flower. I am fine for now. I will protect you here. Fairy Zi Qiong said. Okay. Fang Chen sat down cross-legged and held the giant sword in his hand. He sensed the power in his mind. Slaughter Sword Tao. Among the Sword Tao, the Slaughter Sword Tao was one of the top. Even the Azura Sword Tao was no match for it. External force is still external force. You can use the sword Tao of others as a reference, but if you use it to cultivate, you will never be able to reach the peak of sword Tao. This was the first sentence of the sword Tao inheritance. After reading this sentence, Fang Chen felt as if he had been enlightened. His heart instantly became clear. I have been cultivating the slaughter sword Tao since I obtained it many years ago. However, when I reached the Star Ancient Realm, I finally realized the shortcomings of the slaughter sword Tao. If I want to reach the peak, I must create my own sword Tao. There were many supreme insights about sword Tao in the inheritance, which was very useful to Fang Chen. My own sword Tao. After all, the Azura sword Tao and the slaughter sword Tao did not belong to him. If others can create their own sword Tao, why can't I? Fang Chen was eager to try. He wanted to use this opportunity to create his own sword Tao. His understanding of sword Tao had reached an extremely high level. Moreover, his potential in sword Tao was also incredible. Let me first comprehend the slaughter sword Tao. If he wanted to create a sword Tao, he had to start from these two sword Taos. As time passed, killing intent surged from Fang Chen's body. Even Fairy Zi Qiong, who was standing at the side, was shocked. His killing intent is so strong that I don't even have the courage to fight him. Fairy Zi Qiong murmured. Half a month later, Fang Chen used the sword Tao inheritance left behind by the Star Ancient Realm elite to successfully comprehend the slaughter sword Tao. At this point, he had a clear understanding of the two sword Taos. Next, he began to attempt to create a sword Tao. Since he wanted to create the sword Tao, he had to extract the essence and get rid of the dross. He took the essence of the two great sword Taos and mixed them together before adding his own sword Tao concept. This way, it would be much easier. The essence of the Azura sword Tao is to appear and disappear unpredictably, Fang Chen murmured, and the essence of the slaughter sword Tao is bloody slaughter. Creating sword Tao was like creating swordsmanship. Fang Chen had his own methods. He was also using different concepts to perfect his sword Tao. Half a year later, Fang Chen had created a new sword Tao. However, he was not satisfied with the new sword Tao and continued to overturn it. A year later, he created a new sword Tao, but he was still not satisfied. During this time, Fairy Zi Qiong witnessed Fang Chen's performance and was dumbfounded. Monster, this is the real monster. In a year, Fairy Zi Qiong had completely refined the illusion flower. After I get the illusion flower, I will try to break through when I return to the nominal peak. I will succeed. Thinking of this, Fairy Zi Qiong's face was full of smiles. Day after day, year after year. One day, 3 years later, a powerful sword Tao aura suddenly exploded from Fang Chen's body, causing the entire stone room to tremble. Crack! The stone room was in ruins, destroyed by the sword qi that shot out from Fang Chen's body. The sword qi on his body contained a power that made people tremble. Fairy Zi Qiong shook her head. She had never felt such a powerful sword qi. In the sword qi, there seemed to be confidence, invincibility, and a strong will. Clatter. Fang Chen opened his eyes, and the sword qi was freely released. In his mind, the sword qi was like a rainbow. He grinned and stood up. Just as this senior said, the way of the sword requires a courageous heart. Moreover, one must have great confidence in oneself, murmured Fang Chen. Always think that one will be invincible in the future. Invincible, let's call it the invincible sword Tao. Fang Chen's mind flashed, and he gave a name to the new sword Tao he created. Even he didn't expect that years later, the invincible sword Tao would shake the whole starry sky. Everyone in the Chaos Realm was shocked. Of course, this was a story for another day. Did you succeed? Fairy Zi Qiong asked. Fang Chen nodded. This time, I have gained a lot. I sincerely thank you. Fairy Zi Qiong hurriedly shook her head. Speaking of which, I have to thank you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been able to get the illusion flower. Fang Chen shook his head. Fairy Zi Qiong didn't understand, but he knew best. To Fang Chen, creating the unparalleled sword Tao was an important step on the path of the sword. It was very likely that it would affect his future cultivation. Let's go back first. On the way back, they didn't encounter any danger. That night, Fang Chen and Fairy Zi Qiong returned to the nominal peak. Fang Chen, thank you very much. Fairy Zi Qiong smiled sweetly and returned to the third courtyard. In the dark sky, the mayor of Tianshu Yuan looked down, and the moment he saw Fang Chen, his eyes lit up. Huh! The aura on his body seems to have undergone a great change. The mayor of Tianshu Yuan was surprised. The Sword Dao aura is more powerful, and it is different from the aura he released before. Could it be he has inherited some powerful Sword Dao? The mayor of Tianshu Yuan didn't even dare to think that Fang Chen could create a new Sword Dao. Of course, all of this was thanks to the Sword Dao left behind by the Star Ancient Realm Elite, which was a great help to Fang Chen. In the 100th courtyard, Fang Chen sat on a stone bench, carefully thinking about the process of creating the Invincible Sword Dao. The Invincible Sword Dao is a combination of my Sword Dao and the essence of the Slaughter Sword Dao and the Azura Sword Dao. It is amazing. Even Fang Chen couldn't imagine it. Whoosh! He flicked his finger, and an invincible sword chi instantly appeared, flashing in the void, and then shot up into the sky. Seeing this, the smile on Fang Chen's face widened. Although my cultivation is at the peak of the Void Ancient Realm, if I use the Sword of Destruction with the Invincible Sword Dao, my attack will definitely be able to suppress an early Star Ancient Realm Ancient God. Fang Chen said. In other words, he finally had the strength to fight an ancient god of the Star Ancient Realm. He could even crush an early Star Ancient God. I can feel that the Invincible Sword Dao has great potential. Fang Chen clenched his fists, full of confidence. Invincible Sword Dao, invincible belief. He looked up at the dark starry sky. Starting from the bottom, I can still climb to the top step by step. He seemed to be talking to himself, but also seemed to be talking to the mayor of Tianshu Yuan. On the quiet nominal peak, undercurrents were surging. As time passed, the official disciple assessment was approaching. Especially the nominal disciples who lived in Purple Tea Garden, they were doing everything possible to improve their cultivation. This was an opportunity, and if they missed it, they didn't know how long they would have to wait. In the second courtyard. In the past year, the armored man had been here countless times. Where did Brother Face go? Why hasn't he appeared in a year? The armored man frowned. He had something important to discuss with Blackface. However, the latter hadn't appeared for a year. Could it be that Brother Face has been cultivating in seclusion to become an official disciple? The armored man could only comfort himself. Forget it, I'll just wait. The armored man turned and left. He would never have thought that Blackface, who was as powerful as a god in his heart, had already died at the hands of Fang Chen. Isn't he? As soon as he walked out of the second courtyard, the armored man saw a person walking towards him. He was so scared that he immediately hid and lowered his head. He only raised his head after the person entered the second courtyard. Chu Yunfeng, it's actually Chu Yunfeng, an official disciple. He came to find Brother Face. Could it be? Thinking of this, the armored man became even more excited. If Brother Face became an official disciple with Chu Yunfeng's help, wouldn't he have a powerful backer in the future? Chapter 27:13. After Chu Yunfeng entered the second courtyard, he quickly came out. At this time, the armored man was still in his fantasy and did not notice Chu Yunfeng's arrival. Do you know where Blackface went? Chu Yunfeng asked. The armored man shivered and immediately said, I don't know. I came here almost every day this year, but I didn't see Brother Face. Chu Yunfeng frowned and no longer paid attention to the armored man, turned and left. Where did Brother Face go? The official disciple assessment was a major event on the nominal peak. When the official news came out, it caused a great sensation. Before, there were only 2 spots, but this time there was an extra spot, making a total of 3 spots. This also meant that among the many disciples on the nominal peak, 3 could become official disciples. For a time, many disciples were discussing who would win. Needless to say, it must be Kai Xiu and the other 2. That's not necessarily true. Fairy Zi Qiong is not weak. Don't forget, their strength doesn't mean they can become official disciples. Yes, the official disciples who are ranked at the bottom will also participate and stop them. In short, it's too difficult to become an official disciple. On the nominal peak, it was very lively. On this day, many disciples gathered in the square. A high-ranking elder personally presided over this assessment. You should know the content of the assessment. The elder said in a deep voice, there are a total of 3 spots in this assessment. I hope you will work hard. After a few simple words, the next assessment was about to begin. The assessment was divided into two parts. The first part was the internal assessment of the nominal peak, where the 3 strongest disciples were determined. The second part was the assessment of these 3 people together. It took 3 days, and in a chaotic battle, the 3 strongest people were finally determined. They were Kai Xiu, Fang Chen, and Fairy Zi Qiong. This result was beyond many people's expectations. Blackface did not appear. Did he give up the assessment? Many disciples were secretly guessing. Only Fang Chen and Fairy Zi Qiong knew that Blackface had already died. If Blackface does not appear, it means that he has given up on the assessment. The 3 strongest people on the nominal peak are Kai Xiu, Fang Chen, and Zi Qiong. The elder in charge of the assessment announced, "Next is the second part of the assessment. The 3 of you will enter the mountains below the nominal peak side by side. If you can hold on for a month, you will win." In the mountain range, there were 3 official disciples blocking the way. Fang Chen and the other 2 had to do everything they could to avoid their attacks. As long as he persisted for a month, he would have succeeded. "Do you understand?" The elder in charge of the assessment asked. "Understood." Kai Xiu said loudly. "All right, let's go then." The 3 official disciples have already entered the mountain range. The elder said, "Remember, don't try in vain to fight against an official disciple. You don't have the strength to do so. If you wish to pass the examination, the only way to do so is to conceal yourself completely, such that the official disciples won't be able to find you." After the elder finished speaking, Fang Chen and the other 2 rushed down the mountain peak and entered the mountain range. On the honorary peak, many disciples and the upper echelons were looking down. From their vantage point, they could clearly see the situation in the mountain range. In the mountain range. "Brother Fang, what should we do?" Kai Xiu asked. "There are 3 of them, and their comprehensive strength is definitely stronger than us. If we fight head-on, we will be at a disadvantage." Before Kai Xiu finished speaking, Fang Chen waved his hand to stop him. "Brother Kai Xiu, do you still remember what I said to you?" Fang Chen said. Kai Xiu was surprised, not knowing what Fang Chen was referring to. "I said that during the official disciple assessment, I will let you see my sincerity." Fang Chen said, "So, as long as you follow me, I can guarantee that you will pass the assessment." Kai Xiu's eyes flickered, and he nodded heavily. As for Ziqiong Fairy, since she stood side by side with Fang Chen and experienced the ancient ruins incident, she had already treated Fang Chen as an official disciple. "Since you are all willing to listen to me, then rest here." After speaking, Fang Chen sat cross-legged and closed his eyes to cultivate. Kai Xiu and Ziqiong Fairy looked at each other and also sat down with Fang Chen. On the nominal peak, after seeing this scene, many disciples were very puzzled. "Are we going to give up just like that? Humph, really a disgrace to our nominal peak. Yeah, even if you know you are no match for them, you still have to fight back. The 3 of them are just sitting there waiting for failure." Many disciples were quite dissatisfied with the performance of the 3. Even the person in charge of the nominal peak was surprised. The elder in charge of the assessment shook his head gently. "It seems that no one from the nominal peak can become an official disciple this time." Hearing the elder's words, the higher-ups of the nominal peak felt even more complicated. In the mountain range. Chu Yunfeng. After the 3 official disciples gathered, Chu Yunfeng was the leader. "The 3 of them are no match for us, they will definitely hide." Chu Yunfeng said, "However, I have a way to find them." "Well, let's directly defeat them and let them see the strength of our official disciples. A mere nominal disciple dares to provoke us." Chu Yunfeng and the other 2 moved erratically in the mountain range. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. After more than 10 days of searching, the 3 of them finally found the whereabouts of Fang Chen and the other 2. It was funny to say that Chu Yunfeng and the other 2 had never thought that Fang Chen and the other 2 would directly give up the assessment and sit at the entrance to wait. These days, they had been searching in the depths of the mountain range. Damn it. Chu Yunfeng clenched his fists, his heart full of anger. Found them. The 3 of them walked side by side and appeared in front of Fang Chen and the others. Where's Blackface? Because Chu Yunfeng entered the mountain range in advance, he did not know that Blackface did not participate in the first part of the assessment. That idiot was actually eliminated. Chu Yunfeng thought that Blackface was eliminated by the three of them. In that case, there's no need to hold back. Thinking of this, Chu Yunfeng's body emitted a powerful force. The three of you, get over here. Chu Yunfeng stretched out his finger, pointed at Fang Chen and the other two, and shouted loudly. Whoosh! Fang Chen opened his eyes and slowly got up. Ziqiang Fairy and Kai Xiu were a little nervous. After all, the three of them were all official disciples, and the difference in strength was too great. It took you 10 days to find this place? I overestimated you. Fang Chen shrugged. Chu Yunfeng was completely angered by Fang Chen's lazy attitude. He said coldly, Boy, do you think we don't dare to kill you? This is the official disciple assessment. As long as it is not over, even if we kill you, the higher-ups will not blame us. Interesting, are all the nominal disciples this year like this? Humph, you gave up the assessment as soon as you came in. Do you still have the face to stay in the nominal peak? In the face of the three official disciples scolding, Fang Chen said lightly, Who said we gave up the assessment? Before the three of them spoke, Fang Chen continued, If you can't find this place within a month, we can easily pass, right? Hearing Fang Chen's words, the three of them sneered. Unfortunately, your wishful thinking is wrong. Chu Yunfeng said maliciously. Fang Chen stretched and said, However, it doesn't matter if you find this place. The result is doomed, and you can't change it. On the nominal peak. When Chu Yunfeng and the other two found Fang Chen, many disciples were in an uproar. 10 days later, they finally met. Forget it, don't look at it. If we fight for it, maybe we can succeed. Yeah, now there is no room for negotiation. Some disciples shook their heads and turned away in disappointment. Chu Yunfeng alone can suppress the three nominal disciples. The elder in charge of the assessment said, The result has been decided, and there is no suspense. It seems that the resources of the nominal peak will be reduced by half in the next 3 years. Hearing this, the faces of the higher-ups of the nominal peak suddenly changed. The nominal peak specializes in training nominal disciples for Tianshu Yuan. Originally, there were few cultivation resources, and now because no disciple became an official disciple, the cultivation resources will be reduced by half. This is too cruel. Elder, no need to say more, everything will be done according to the rules and regulations. Hearing this, the higher-ups of the nominal peak looked gloomy, and their hearts were complicated. Chapter 27:14. In the opinion of all the disciples, Fang Chen and the other two would definitely lose if they met Chu Yunfeng. However, they didn't know where Fang Chen got the courage to challenge the three of them, which made many nominal disciples very puzzled. However, they didn't say anything and just watched quietly. Even the elder in charge of the assessment thought that this official disciple test would end in failure. In the mountain range, behind Fang Chen, Kai Xiu and Ziqiang Fairy's faces changed. Brother Fang is not a reckless person. Since he has confidence, then he must have a way. Kai Xiu gritted his teeth and gave up trying to dissuade Fang Chen. Ziqiang Fairy on the side, her beautiful eyes flickered, staring at Fang Chen curiously. She was also guessing what means Fang Chen had to dare to ignore Chu Yunfeng and the other two. Being ridiculed by nominal disciples, Chu Yunfeng and the other two were very unhappy. Boy, you are digging your own grave. Chu Yunfeng said coldly. Fang Chen shrugged, looking like he didn't care. It's too early to say who is digging their own grave. I originally planned to let you go after you admit defeat, but now it seems that it's completely unnecessary. Chu Yunfeng said gloomily. Brother Chu, why talk nonsense with them? This kind of person who doesn't know what's good for him, just kill him. That's right, stupid nominal disciples. Do you really think you are invincible in the nominal peak and can look down on the entire Tianshu Yuan? Let me tell you how stupid your idea is. A black-clothed disciple, as soon as his voice fell, a violent force suddenly emerged from his body. The next moment, he suddenly punched at Fang Chen. Seeing this, Fang Chen shook his head gently. Courting death. Seeing Fang Chen so contemptuous, The black-clothed disciple was even more furious. He mobilized all the strength in his body and fiercely punched at Fang Chen's head. Dong! Before Kai Xiu and Zicheng Fairy could react, a deafening sound came from the battlefield. The violent power exploded in front of Fang Chen, and the vast aura directly engulfed Fang Chen. The entire world was filled with terrifying waves of air. Brother Fang! Kai Xiu and Zicheng Fairy's faces changed dramatically and they cried out involuntarily. However, right at this moment, a sudden change occurred. The originally confident black-clothed disciple was sent flying like a cannonball. Dong! He crashed heavily onto the ground, creating a huge crater. Dust flew everywhere as he fainted. When Chu Yunfeng, who originally had a disdainful expression, saw this scene, his expression changed greatly. What happened? Chu Yunfeng's divine sense spread out and quickly enveloped the center of the battlefield to check on Fang Chen's movements. Suddenly, his pupils shrank as he saw the halo of sword qi around Fang Chen. How is this possible? Chu Yunfeng's heart trembled in disbelief. How could a nominal disciple's defense be so powerful? Just by relying on his defense, he was able to withstand an all-out attack from an official disciple. Wasn't this too terrifying? Boy, go to hell. While Chu Yunfeng was in a daze, another official disciple arrogantly attacked. Knowing that Fang Chen's defense was strong, his figure flashed and a diamond-shaped dart appeared in his palm. Swoosh! The dart contained a powerful force that made people tremble. Flying cloud dart. The man shouted in a low voice and displayed his trump card. The diamond-shaped dart streaked across the void and transformed into an incredible trick, whistling toward Fang Chen's body. Insignificant skill. Fang Chen's expression remained unchanged as he sneered. Swoosh! In the eyes of everyone, he gently raised his palm, stretched out 2 fingers, and suddenly caught the flying dart in his hand. Crack! A shocking force erupted from the flying dart, but it couldn't break free from Fang Chen's control. Instead, it was directly crushed by Fang Chen. Hiss! The flying dart was annihilated and turned into countless powder, floating in the sky. There was an uproar on the nominal peak. Countless nominal disciples cheered and jumped for joy. Fang Chen was also a nominal disciple of their nominal peak. To be able to erupt such a powerful force and beat the official disciples, it could be regarded as an honor for their nominal peak. Ha ha ha, I knew Fang Chen must have a trump card. Too powerful, no wonder he can be ranked in the top 3 of the nominal disciples. Even Kai Xiu, who is ranked first, can't be compared with such means. Such a powerful flying dart was actually caught by his bare hands. Many of the nominal disciples were discussing among themselves. The faces of the senior members of the nominal peak, who had been overshadowed, were full of excited smiles and their hearts were burning. Caught the flying dart barehanded? Even the elder in charge of the assessment was stunned. Among the 3 official disciples, Chu Yunfeng was the strongest. But even if Chu Yunfeng used all his strength, he wouldn't dare to catch the flying dart barehanded, but the nominal disciple in front of him did it. Good guy. The elder in charge of the assessment was secretly delighted. He was determined to get his hands on such a monstrous genius. In the mountain range. In a flash, the 2 official disciples were defeated by Fang Chen. At this time, Chu Yunfeng's face was completely gloomy. He narrowed his eyes and stared at Fang Chen. Earlier, I was still wondering where you got the courage to challenge an official disciple. Now, I finally understand. Your so-called defense is your confidence. In Chu Yunfeng's view, Fang Chen only had a strong defense. I have to say that your defense is very strong. Even among the official disciples, you are considered one of the best. Chu Yunfeng said, however, if you think that you can scare me with just this, then you're wrong. Otherwise, Fang Chen sneered. Chu Yunfeng's face was gloomy as he walked step by step towards Fang Chen. Sometimes, a strong defense is useless. Chu Yunfeng said, let's see how I break your defense with one hand. Boom. Chu Yunfeng's aura fluctuated as he pulled out a short sword from his arms. Chu Clan's secret sword. Chu Yunfeng also recognized the terrifying defense of Fang Chen's fleshly body. He immediately used his trump card. The Chu clan's secret sword was Chu Yunfeng's strongest sword technique. The reason why he could stay among the official disciples was because of the Chu clan's secret sword. Interesting. But if this is all you have, then don't waste your strength. The chaotic origin sword body was fully activated, and sword chi enveloped his body. With Fang Chen's current strength, the chaotic origin sword body's defense was comparable to the Star Ancient Realm. How could Chu Yunfeng break it? Xiu. The Chu clan's secret sword was displayed. The short sword spun a few times in Chu Yunfeng's hand before it shot out with a powerful force. Die. Chu Yunfeng jumped and followed the short sword. Catcher. The short sword hit Fang Chen's body but was blocked by the sword chi halo around him. Kill. Chu Yunfeng roared furiously, but the short sword could not move forward. Damn it. Chu Yunfeng gritted his teeth and his eyes turned scarlet. A monstrous aura surged. Catcher. The chaotic origin sword body rotated, and the sword chi halo shattered the short sword. At the same time, Chu Yunfeng's body was directly sent flying by the powerful sword chi. Dong. He smashed into a towering tree in the distance, directly shattering it. Poochie. Chu Yunfeng spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face was extremely pale. The whole process only took a few breaths. Kai Xiu and Fairy Zi Qiong widened their eyes in disbelief. Their bodies were trembling. Chu Yunfeng's defeat meant that they had passed the assessment and become official disciples. This was what they had dreamed of for many years, and it was realized so easily. Now, Kai Xiu finally remembered that Fang Chen had once said to him that he would show his sincerity during the official disciple assessment. Amazing. After the shock, Kai Xiu gave Fang Chen a thumbs up. On the nominal peak, a stormy wave was set off. Countless nominal disciples went completely crazy. Complete victory. Fang Chen had defeated the 3 official disciples by himself. Moreover, he did not take the initiative to attack, and only relied on his powerful defense to accomplish this feat. This kid is not simple. The elder in charge of the assessment nodded in satisfaction and said, with his physical defense, he is not bad among the official disciples. The higher-ups of the nominal peak were even more excited. They originally thought that with the cultivation resources reduced by half, they had fallen into despair. Who would have thought that Fang Chen turned the tide with his own strength and defeated Chu Yunfeng and the other 2? My nominal peak finally has a monstrous genius. For a time, everyone was praising Fang Chen. As for Chu Yunfeng and the other 2, they had long been forgotten. Chapter 27:15. The official disciple assessment finally came to an end with such a unique result. Even though Kai Xiu and Ziqiong Fairy had imagined countless results, they still didn't expect that they could win. When Chu Yunfeng and the other 2 were defeated, Kai Xiu felt like he was dreaming. I became an official disciple. Tianshu Yuan is one of the most powerful forces in this void, standing side by side with giant families such as the Lin family. In the vast sea of people, there are countless martial artists whose highest goal is to become a disciple of Tianshu Yuan. However, if you want to become an official disciple, you have to start from a nominal disciple. Don't underestimate nominal disciples. The nominal disciples of Tianshu Yuan, in the outside world, are also considered famous among the younger generation. However, if you want to be recognized by Tianshu Yuan, you must become an official disciple. Once you become an official disciple, you are considered a real disciple of Tianshu Yuan. There is a huge gap between nominal disciples and official disciples. Kai Xiu originally thought that there would be a fierce battle. But who would have thought that they didn't move from beginning to end, and have been quietly watching? Amazing. Ziqiong Fairy shook her head and smiled brightly. Let's go. Fang Chen said, and immediately took the lead and walked out of the mountain range. Kai Xiu and Ziqiong Fairy froze for a moment, and then remembered that there was no point in continuing to stay. Ha ha ha. Kai Xiu's mood at this moment can't be described with words. On the nominal peak, many of the nominal disciples were completely shocked. The high-level powerhouses were even more excited, and even the elder in charge of the assessment nodded with satisfaction. This is the strongest official disciple assessment since he took charge. Crushing 3 official disciples with his own strength is enough to be recorded in the history of Tianshu Yuan. This kind of potential, among the official disciples, is considered outstanding. The elder in charge of the assessment whispered. When Fang Chen and the other two reascended the nominal peak, everyone's eyes were burning, as if welcoming the return of heroes, watching the three of them. Congratulations. The elder in charge of the assessment said, from today onwards, the three of you are official disciples of Tianshu Yuan. Elder, in the crowd, a disciple said unconvinced, they are cheating. Fang Chen is strong, we have nothing to say, but Fairy Zi Qiong and Kai Xiu are not strong enough to fight against senior brother Chu Yunfeng. Shut up. The face of the elder in charge of the test changed abruptly as he berated loudly. The rules of Tianshu Yuan are not for you to dictate. Instantly, the crowd quieted down. No one dared to question Kai Xiu and Fairy Zi Qiong anymore. Countless people looked at the two of them with burning eyes, especially the nominal disciples who had been in the top 10 with them. They were even more envious. With such a powerful teammate, even if it were them, they would definitely be able to become an official disciple. Damn it. Some people gritted their teeth and cursed. They had missed the best opportunity. All right, go back and pack up. Report to Sokai Peak tomorrow morning. The elder in charge of the assessment said a few words to Fang Chen and the other two before leaving. On the nominal peak, there was an incomparable carnival. That night, many martial artists, including the higher-ups, were drinking and singing, celebrating the passing of Fang Chen and the other two. The next day, early in the morning, Fang Chen and the other two arrived at Sokai Peak. This peak was many times larger than the nominal peak. The entire peak was enveloped by a huge array, and the power of the heavenly path was abnormally rich. What a big deal! Fang Chen couldn't help but be speechless. Only Tianshu Yuan could make such a big deal. He could see that this array could gather the surrounding power of the heavenly path. If it was in the ancient Saint Chaos, such a peerless array would definitely be priceless. However, in Tianshu Yuan, it was just a protective array. You're here. Elder Lei walked over with a smile. He was the elder in charge of the assessment and had a high status on Sokai Peak. Elder Lei. The three of them greeted him. Elder Lei nodded. Sokai Peak is different from the nominal peak. The rules here are more relaxed. As long as you don't betray Tianshu Yuan, everything is free. Along the way, Elder Lei introduced the three of them to the official disciples of Sokai Peak. When they arrived at their residence, Elder Lei said, "You've just become official disciples and need to complete the missions issued by the sect." This was the rule of Sokai Peak. Every new official disciple had to complete at least one mission. You are free to accept any of the missions on this file. Of course, the more difficult the mission, the more generous the reward. After that, Elder Lei turned and left. Fang Chen and the other two returned to their own residences. Hunting astral ancient realm monsters? Fang Chen saw such a mission. It was almost the same as the elite disciple assessment. Of course, the rewards were also very generous, and there were many cultivation resources. However, Fang Chen wasn't tempted. With his current cultivation, if he wanted to improve further, he had to go through life and death experiences. He glanced at the file and finally saw a mission that he liked. Looking at the mission, he licked his dry lips. Training in the Demon God Mountain? According to the level, this mission should be the most dangerous. However, Fang Chen liked challenging difficult missions. He didn't care for ordinary missions. After reading the mission description in detail, Fang Chen had a general understanding of the Demon God Mountain. Despair Continent. Fang Chen's eyes shone with a dazzling light. After coming to Tianshu Yuan for so long, he finally had a general understanding of the situation in this area. The primordial chaos was too big and was divided into countless continents. Each continent was almost the same size as the primordial chaos void in the wildlands. The continent where Tianshu Yuan was located was called the Despair Continent. The ruler of the Despair Continent was the famous Hand of Despair. Hand of Despair. Fang Chen's heart skipped a beat. As expected of the primordial chaos, the competition is very fierce. Fang Chen sighed. In the primordial chaos, as long as you had the strength, you could open up a territory and become a king. The Despair continent was forcibly occupied by the Hand of Despair and changed its name. In other words, as long as you were strong enough, you could open up a continent and make it your own. The Despair continent had a total of 108 cities. The city lord of each city was a super expert of the life ancient realm. Blood fiends. Fang Chen's pupils shrank. This was the first time he had heard this name. According to the historical records, the 108 city lords were the strongest life ancient realm experts of the Despair continent. They were called the 108 blood fiends. Since ancient times, the number of the 108 blood fiends had never changed. However, the members had always changed. This was because the dream of countless life ancient realm experts was to become a blood fiend. Therefore, they often challenged the blood fiends. As long as they could defeat them, they could replace them. Amazing! Fang Chen exclaimed. The 108 blood fiends are known as the strongest life ancient realm experts. Then the ruler of the Despair continent, the Hand of Despair, should be a peerless expert that surpasses the ancient god realm. The Hand of Despair was one of the famous super experts in the primordial chaos. Who? Fang Chen took a deep breath. The blood fiends were still some distance away from him, let alone the Hand of Despair. So far, he still had to be down to earth and move forward step by step. I'm still too weak. With his current strength, he could deal with early star ancient realm experts. However, he couldn't crush mid-star ancient realm experts. Since Tianshu Yuan wants to protect me and not let the outside world discover my potential, then the Demon God Mountain must be a suitable place for me to train. Fang Chen smiled. The Demon God Mountain was famous in the Despair continent. Countless experts went there because of its fame. It was said that the peerless geniuses of the Despair continent would also enter the Demon God Mountain to seek opportunities. Here it is. Fang Chen made his decision. Although the Demon God Mountain was dangerous, it was better than staying in Tianshu Yuan. 3 days later, Fang Chen submitted his mission application. Elder Lei came looking for him. Are you sure you want to go to the Demon God Mountain? Elder Lei asked. Fang Chen nodded. The slaughter in the Demon God Mountain can help me train. Seeing Fang Chen's determined expression, Elder Lei didn't try to dissuade him. The time limit for this mission is 100 years. Be careful. Don't act recklessly no matter what happens. Elder Lei said, also, be careful in the Demon God Mountain because some blood fiends will enter. Chapter 27:16. The Demon God Mountain was located in the northwest of the continent of Despair. It was quite far away from Tianshu Yuan. However, Fang Chen wasn't in a hurry. He left Tianshu Yuan on the same day. As for Kai Xiu and Fairy Zi Qiong, they didn't choose to go crazy with Fang Chen. They chose a simpler mission to be safe. Since they had become official disciples, they wouldn't take any risks in the near future. In the sky above Tianshu Yuan, Dean Tianshu looked down and watched Fang Chen's back as he left. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Whoosh! The mayor of Tianshu Yuan flicked his finger, and an invisible light passed through the air and quietly entered Fang Chen's body. I hope this mark can save your life at a critical moment. Demon God Mountain. A towering mountain that reached into the clouds. It looked like a mountain from afar, but it was actually very spacious. Moreover, there was a huge black vortex at the entrance of Demon God Mountain. There was a suffocating aura inside the vortex. In front of the black vortex, there were countless cultivators, all of them carefully observing. Demon God Mountain was too dangerous. The slightest carelessness could lead to death. Many people have come to Demon God Mountain recently. Fang Chen was also among the crowd. He was carefully observing the situation of Demon God Mountain. He could feel that the Demon God Mountain was giving him great pressure. If it weren't for the chaotic origin sword body, he wouldn't have been able to withstand the terrifying aura. The ruins of Demon Extreme Supreme? The corners of Fang Chen's mouth curled up into a smile. According to his understanding of Demon God Mountain, it was incomparably ferocious and the environment was harsh. There were very few martial artists who came here to train. But now, there were so many people. Moreover, there were experts coming from time to time. Look, It's the young master of the Fu family in the southwest. Suddenly, someone in the crowd exclaimed. In the distance, a large group of people swarmed over. In the middle of the crowd, there was a dazzling golden carriage slowly coming over. The carriage was very domineering. There were 4 pure-blooded mutants pulling at the front, and a vast aura spread out. There was a large Fu written on the carriage. The Fu family of the southwest was a superpower second only to the Lin family and Tianshu Yuan in the Despair mainland. It was said that the current patriarch of the southwest Fu family was a powerful Xue Sho. The Fu family of the southwest. Fang Chen was also stunned for a moment. As expected of a superpower second only to Tianshu Yuan. Just the carriage alone was already so impressive. The 4 pure-blooded xenogeneics pulling the carriage were also close to the void ancient realm. A pure-blooded ancient god xenogeneic pulling a carriage? Only a power like the Fu clan of the southwest would be able to do such a thing. Scram! A cold voice came from the front of the carriage. Immediately, many of the spectating cultivators retreated and opened up a path. It said that the one who entered the demon god mountain this time is the second young master of the Fu clan. He's an invincible void ancient cultivator. It's actually him. The Fu family actually dares to let second young master take the risk. What do you know? The Fu clan had secretly sent star ancient realm cultivators to tail the second young master of the Fu clan. Who could hurt him? Or rather, who dares to attack the Fu family? That's true. Many cultivators discussed in low voices. Roar. The 4 pure-blooded xenogeneics, with scarlet eyes, let out a furious roar. The space shattered, and everyone was terrified. The carriage didn't stop. It slowly drove into the black vortex and disappeared in a flash. Whoosh. After the people of the Fu clan left, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. The heavy burden on their shoulders was suddenly lifted. However, just a moment ago, Fang Chen actually felt a strange aura. What's going on? His eyes were twitching uncontrollably. Ever since his eyes evolved into the ancestral eye, they had never escaped his control. But now, they were completely out of control. What's going on? Fang Chen forcefully suppressed the ancestral eye, but he still couldn't stop it from twitching. Dong dong dong. The ancestral eye released a heart-palpitating aura. However, this only lasted for a second before it disappeared. Whoosh. When the Fu clan's carriage disappeared into the black vortex, the ancestral eye regained its calm. Could it be that the experts in the Fu clan's carriage discovered my ancestral eye? Fang Chen was surprised. Or is there something that attracted the ancestral eye? In the black vortex, the Fu clan's carriage was still advancing steadily. A man suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes twitched, and a trace of surprise appeared in his heart. After a while, he muttered, "The ancestral eye?" After the Fu clan of the southwest, the geniuses of the Dark Wind Pavilion also came. This Dark Wind Pavilion is incredible. Someone in the crowd was discussing. Yeah, I heard that not long ago, a shocking battle occurred in the Despair continent. The main character was the Dark Wind Pavilion's pavilion master. Although he wasn't Xue Sho, his strength was comparable to Xue Sho's. He even lasted 3 days and 3 nights in the battle against Xue Sho. Everyone praised Dark Wind Pavilion endlessly. Fang Chen watched as the people of the Dark Wind Pavilion entered the Demon God Mountain. They were more low-key, unlike the Fu clan of the southwest. Following that, various factions swarmed into the Demon God Mountain. The inheritance of the monster Extreme Supreme attracted many forces. Of course, those who were really interested in the inheritance were basically Void Ancient Realm martial artists, and a small number of Star Ancient Realm martial artists. As for the Life Ancient Realm and the 108 Xue Sho, they didn't care about the inheritance of the monster Extreme Supreme. They were at the Demon God Mountain to comprehend the supreme laws and improve their cultivation. It's about time. Just as Fang Chen felt that it was about time to enter, there was another commotion in the crowd. The Lin clan also wants the inheritance of the monster Extreme Supreme? Someone exclaimed. Fang Chen looked over and found that a carriage that was not inferior to the Fu clan of the southwest appeared in front of everyone. Lin Xiaozhong's clan? Fang Chen murmured. A trace of cold killing intent flashed in the depths of his eyes. Back then, when they set off from the ancient Saint Chaos to the immemorial Chaos, they were intercepted by Lin Xiaozhong on the Void Warship. The Void Warship was destroyed and they fell into the Golden Cloud Primal Chaos, almost dying in the spatial storm. It could be said that Fang Chen and the Lin clan were mortal enemies even though they didn't know each other. The Lin clan is also here. It seems that there will be a good show to watch in the battle for the inheritance of the monster Extreme Supreme. Fang Chen could no longer hear the voices in the crowd. After he watched the Lin family's carriage enter, he also took a step forward and entered the black vortex. Wang. The heavenly Tao energy in the black whirlpool spun crazily. Fang Chen pushed his chaotic origin sword body to the extreme, and layers of sword chi halos surrounded him, barely resisting the invasion of the black whirlpool. What a powerful force. Just this black vortex alone should be able to stop most of the warriors. Fang Chen was speechless. It was almost impossible for anyone below the ancient god realm to enter this place. Hey! As Fang Chen advanced in the black whirlpool, he suddenly saw a blood-red light in the distance. So strong. Even from a distance, Fang Chen could feel his scalp going numb. Hong! The powerful shockwave almost knocked Fang Chen over. Fortunately, the blood-red light that caused one to tremble flashed and disappeared. It seemed to tear the world apart and suppress everything. The blood-red light was too shocking. Blood fiends! Fang Chen exclaimed. Only the 108 blood fiends would be able to unleash such a powerful force, right? Hua la! After advancing for a while, they finally entered the Demon God Mountain. Fang Chen's vision turned white. Immediately, the piercing sunlight shone on his face. In front of him was a picturesque landscape. There were some mountains that weren't too tall, and below them was a winding stream. Is this the Demon God Mountain? Fang Chen muttered. Ignorant. What kind of Demon God Mountain is this? Suddenly, a sneer came from behind Fang Chen. Fang Chen turned around and saw a black-robed martial artist looking at him mockingly. Foolish martial artist. This is only the outer region of the Demon God Mountain. The real Demon God Mountain has a heaven-shaking aura. With your strength, your fleshly body will be shattered the moment you enter. The black-clothed cultivator walked towards Fang Chen. All right, let's not waste any more words. Hand over all the valuables you have. Fang Chen was stunned. The moment he entered, he encountered a bandit. Robbery? Are you a bandit? Cut the crap. This daddy is different from a bandit. This daddy only wants to rob. Furthermore, I have a choice. The black-robed man said. Fang Chen was stunned and nodded. Chapter 27:17. Fang Chen was a little speechless. Wherever he went, he would meet such people who only picked on the weak. This person looked at Fang Chen with a greedy look in his eyes. Brat, if you know what's good for you, hand it over quickly. The black-robed cultivator threatened Fang Chen. Why don't you rob the Fu clan, the Lin clan, or the Darkwind Pavilion in the southwest? Do you think I'm stupid? Of course, I'll pick on the weak. The black-robed cultivator sneered. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for being too weak. That's why I can only start with you. Aren't you afraid of kicking an iron plate? Fang Chen asked. The black-robed cultivator seemed to not want to waste any more time with Fang Chen. He punched out. Catcher. The space distorted as the majestic fist light whizzed out. Noisy. At the same time, the black-robed cultivator stomped his foot and leaped, flying in front of Fang Chen. Boom. The powerful fist light hit the latter. The chaotic origin sword body was activated, and layers of sword chi surrounded the black-robed cultivator. The black-robed cultivator's fist light could not even penetrate Fang Chen's defense. Amen. The black-robed cultivator's expression changed when he saw this scene. How is this possible? He wanted to retreat, but it was too late. You've finished your attack. It's my turn now. Peng. The world was shocked when he punched out. The power of Fang Chen's punch was enough to force an early-stage Star Ancient Realm expert back, let alone this ordinary black-robed cultivator. Catcher. The black-robed cultivator screamed miserably and frantically retreated, but it was too late. Fang Chen killed him with a punch. The smell of blood lingered in the air. The periphery of the demon god mountain? Fang Chen muttered. He looked around and found that the aura here was not as strong as he had imagined. Let's go. His king realm spiritual consciousness spread out and scanned the surrounding 100 miles. There's someone ahead. Fang Chen discovered a few cultivators moving forward. Hoo. In a few breaths' time, Fang Chen used the space-time escape technique and appeared in front of them. Third brother, are we really going to enter the inner area of the Demon God Mountain? Many experts have gathered in the Demon God Mountain recently. Even the second young master of the Southwest Fu clan is here. If you want to succeed, you have to take risks. If you don't even have the courage, how can you succeed? The third brother scolded them. The two of them looked at each other and shut their mouths. Huala! Fang Chen appeared in front of the three of them and blocked their path. Who are you? The three of them looked at Fang Chen warily and asked in deep voices. Don't misunderstand. I don't have any ill intentions towards you. I just want to ask about the situation of Demon God Mountain. After hearing Fang Chen's question, the three of them sneered. Even if we didn't know, we wouldn't tell you, let alone us. Catcher. Just as the three of them finished speaking, a spear of sword chi that pierced through the heavens and earth suddenly whistled over from the distant horizon. The bodies of the three were instantly pierced through. This sword chi spear didn't stop for long. It shot straight towards Fang Chen. Mn. Fang Chen frowned. He activated the chaotic origin sword body and a powerful sword domain covered the area around him. At the same time, he activated his weapon-controlling Dao. A strange aura emerged from his mind and enveloped the sword chi spear. Condense. Fang Chen roared. The absolute power of the weapon-controlling Dao was instantly revealed. The sword chi spear was forcefully restrained by Fang Chen in the void. Sila. The void was torn apart and a ferocious-looking black figure walked out. Pa. The ferocious-looking man clapped his hands and laughed sinisterly. Not bad. You can withstand my attack. Who are you? Why are you attacking me? Fang Chen asked in a cold voice. He was certain that this person's target was him. The three people just now had been killed by mistake. With just a sword chi spear, he was able to kill 3 void ancient realm cultivators. Such strength made Fang Chen not dare to be careless. Dark Wind Pavilion, Yu Xiaofeng. The ferocious-looking man said. Dark Wind Pavilion? Fang Chen frowned. His expression turned gloomy. He had no relationship with Dark Wind Pavilion. Why would this person attack him? I can sense a powerful sword Dao aura from your body. Yu Xiaofeng said. If I'm not wrong, your fleshly body is the legendary chaotic origin sword body. Fang Chen's pitch-black eyes stared at Yu Xiaofeng. Coincidentally, I also cultivate the sword Dao. My sword Dao is to devour countless sword cultivators and use their sword Dao for my own use. Finally, I reach the peak of the sword Dao. Yu Xiaofeng sneered. It was as if Fang Chen was just a prey in his eyes. My cultivation has reached the limit of the void ancient realm. I'm just one step away from the star ancient realm. If I devour you, I'll definitely break through the bottleneck. Yu Xiaofeng licked his dry lips and said sinisterly. Fang Chen understood. So that's how it was. At the same time, he was also surprised. Yu Xiaofeng's soul Dao power was too strong. He was able to discover Yi Shiwen without Yi Shiwen noticing. Hong. Yu Xiaofeng took a step forward. His body turned into a powerful giant sword. The giant sword exuded a pitilessly powerful sword principle aura. Die! Yu Xiaofeng roared. The giant sword pierced through the sky and whistled. Invincible sword Dao, destruction. Facing Yu Xiaofeng, Fang Chen did not dare to be careless. He took out the hidden star sword. With a wave of his hand, he executed the destruction sword. Hoo. In the sky, 2 streaks of sword light condensed in succession and then quickly merged into one. Wang. The merged sword light released an invincible aura. Mn. Even Yu Xiaofeng was a little surprised. What sword technique is this? Yu Xiaofeng felt his heart palpitate. He continued to increase his strength and charged at Fang Chen. In the sky, Flames splashed everywhere. The powerful sword light was like a meteor, whistling down. Suppress. The sword light pierced Yu Xiaofeng's body and immediately broke his sword technique. Bang! Yu Xiaofeng's body returned to its original form and retreated. Damn it! Yu Xiaofeng's face was gloomy. His eyes were solemn. He did not expect to meet a tough opponent. However, Yu Xiaofeng sneered in his heart. Die! Yu Xiaofeng's body suddenly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Fang Chen. In his palm, a short sword whistled out. Targeting the primordial spirit? Fang Chen felt his primordial spirit tremble. He was slightly surprised. His eyes glowed red as a powerful eye power shot out from them. The supreme ancestral eye, the supreme suppression. Wang. All the heavenly Tao power in the world gathered crazily and drilled into the supreme ancestral eye power. In an instant, Yu Xiaofeng felt that his body could not move. He was imprisoned in the void. What is that? Yu Xiaofeng exclaimed. His heart was filled with fear. He quickly took out a blood-red mirror from his bosom, and a scarlet light shot out from the mirror. Crack! The scarlet light temporarily blocked the attack of the supreme ancestral eye power. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Yu Xiaofeng's body flashed. At the same time, the surface of the mirror also cracked and shattered. Whoosh! 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 Yu Xiaofeng's body constantly shuttled through the void. You want to leave? Fang Chen sneered and used the space-time escape technique to chase after him. Soon, he saw Yu Xiaofeng's back. The latter also noticed that Fang Chen's speed was incomparably fast. He was even more anxious. Fellow Daoist, for the sake of the Dark Wind Pavilion, how about we let this matter go? In your dreams. Fang Chen instinctively refused. He had the upper hand. Seeing that Fang Chen was about to catch up to him, Yu Xiaofeng was even more anxious. He frantically fled in a certain direction. In the blink of an eye, he was thousands of miles away. In the distance, there was a tall mountain peak that pierced through the clouds, standing straight on the ground. Faster! Yu Xiaofeng murmured. As long as he entered the inner area of the Demon God Mountain and reunited with the Dark Wind Pavilion, he would not be afraid of Fang Chen. Suddenly, his speed doubled. His body turned into a black shadow and disappeared into the horizon. After a while, he arrived in front of the towering mountain. He was only a step away from the inner area of the Demon God Mountain. Brat, wait until I reunite with the senior brothers of the Dark Wind Pavilion. I will definitely make you suffer. Yu Xiaofeng said viciously. Whoosh! In the distant horizon, a sword chi rainbow pierced through the heavens and earth. It carried the power of gold as it tore through the void and stabbed into Yu Xiaofeng's body. Bang!